NBC Sports Championship Television.
A year ago, Colorado ambushed Texas and won the Big 12 championship. Now they're back. Oklahoma had dreams of a national title a few weeks ago. But then came Texas A&M, soon to be followed by Oklahoma State. Back on November 2nd, Colorado and Oklahoma played in Norman. The Sooners won, but Colorado's back.
First of all, you know, they tried to knock us out. We gave them every opportunity to knock us out in the first half, and they didn't do it. So, you know, we're still standing.
This is for the Big 12 championship. Will it be Oklahoma, or will it be powerful Colorado? A big money bowl awaits the winner tonight. It's the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship. Welcome to Houston, Texas, and the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Oklahoma, winners of the South, 10-2, in a rematch, take on Colorado, winners of the North at 9-3. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. The pieces of the BCS puzzle are now falling into place. Miami will go to Tempe. They'll play Ohio State for the national championship. Washington State just qualified for the Rose Bowl. But do not conclude that Iowa automatically will be their opponent. They could well wind up in Miami in the Orange Bowl, which means that the winner of tonight's game between Oklahoma and Colorado stands a very good chance of going to Pasadena and playing the Cougars. Now for the game itself, let's bring in my colleague, the quarterback, Gary Danielson. How do we break down Oklahoma and Colorado the rematch?
Brent, really an interesting football game. They played each other, obviously, as you mentioned. And in the second game, both of these teams feel that they want to force the other team to do something with basically their wrong hand. Both want to run the football, but in this game, the strategy will be to try to get both backup quarterbacks, and these are two backup quarterbacks from the start of the season, to throw the ball. They believe that neither one of these two quarterbacks can win the game themselves.
Gary, there is an injury question mark plaguing the Colorado backfield. Coach Barry Barnett talked about that with our Jackaroo.
Coach, we know Chris Brown is not dressed, but you watch Bobby Purify in the pregame warm-ups. What do you think?
Well, I think only in the case of a real emergency could we play him. Not sure it'd be safe for him to play, but you know, he went out, warmed up, and did some things, but more than likely he's not going to play.
So it rests on the shoulders of your true freshman?
It does. Brian Calhoun will start, and Marcus Houston and Brian will share time.
Brent?
So the Colorado Buffaloes are back, attempting to defend the Big 12 championship. They won a year ago against the Texas Longhorns. The kickoff is coming up next.
Colorado against Oklahoma. You heard the talk back and forth between the coaches after the first game. Gary Barnett not giving a lot of credit to Oklahoma. That set something up here.
That sure did. Well, Oklahoma's lost 2 games, and both teams have beaten them with the deep ball. But that's one thing Colorado doesn't do very well, throw the deep ball.
And Colorado, though, their running game, they may have to throw the deep ball. We, of course, will see at halftime. Right now, let's take you out to Jackaroo. Jack.
Thanks, John. There's a little bit, maybe, still a remnants from a week ago in Stillwater, but not with this team, Coach. It wasn't hard to get them back up?
No, we've earned our way here. We're excited about the opportunity. We'll go after it tonight.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Bob Stoops and the Sooners of Oklahoma are favored in the rematch game against Colorado. And tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern Time, the Tostitos BCS Selection Show. Where will the winner of this game go? Will it be Pasadena? Will it be New Orleans? Will it be Miami? We'll find out. Since the last meeting, the Sooners are only 500, and Colorado has gone 3-0. So with the ball on the tee, Gova ready to kick it off for the Sooners. Snead takes a knee, and Colorado comes out. Robert Hodge, the quarterback, we asked him what he'd like to accomplish in the opening series against the Sooners.
Just to complete the ball. try to frustrate them with completions and keep the sticks moving, keep our offense out on the field for a good solid drive and try to get points out of it.
Robert Hodge took over this offense earlier this season. 5'11", 185-pound senior. 12 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And the youngster, Brian Calhoun, who beat up on Nebraska, gets the game's first carry. On a beautiful cutback. Speed. Straight. Can't bring him down. Out of bounds at the 43-yard line. A 37-yard gain for Brian Calhoun, his first carry.
This was well defense by Oklahoma. You watch this situation right here. Watch them. They've got him surrounded right here. Where is he going to go? That's great defense, but watch a young athlete who cuts back with speed. Speed against speed right there. Calhoun, patient and cut back.
His career long, 37 yards. With the injured Chris Brown watching from the sideline. Now Marcus Houston, a fresh back. Play fake. Hodge trying to dash out of trouble. Is thrown for a loss. Our Dr. Pepper starting lineups. Brown will not play. Purify emergency duty only. 2 seniors, Brandon Drum, and you see there are 4 seniors in this very talented offensive line. So their 1,000-yard rusher. There's Chris Brown. You can see him without the headgear on, not even in uniform. Second down and long. Good play fake Hodge. He completes his first pass for a first down at the 30-yard line. He goes to Derek McCoy, the junior from Thornton, Colorado. Now the Dr. Pepper defensive lineup for these Sooners, and they're reeling on the first series. Tommy Harris returning to the starting lineup. Lance Mitchell and Teddy Lehman are their top 2 tacklers. And in that defensive backfield, here is the huge question. Brandon Everidge, is he healthy? Did Oklahoma State find something last week? Calhoun's back in as the running back. Calhoun behind the right side of his offensive line for a couple of yards. Wilkerson makes the stop.
Calhoun's such an interesting player for Colorado. You know, early in a career, any young freshman player, Brent, you know, when you come out of high school, you fake up inside and you run around people and you score touchdowns. Calhoun had to learn that if you're going to run in college football, you have to run more north-south and you must cut back. He's learned the game. You know, he's a true freshman, I know, but he's learned how to play the game, and you see his natural ability taking over.
Monte, the wide receiver who brought the play in, is split out to the left. 2 tight ends. The Buffaloes with a power football. Calhoun looking to cut back. Made it to about the 24-yard line. And Pasha Jackson, number 53, the linebacker, bringing him down. So with Chris Brown out of the game and Purify, a huge question mark. Better than 2,000 yards of offense. The best tandem in the nation over there on the Colorado sideline. Purify is in uniform, and he's an excellent pass receiver. Normally in this situation he'd be on the field. 3rd and 4. But instead it's Lawrence Vickers, and Brandon drums the tail. Play fake. Hodge rolls. Got a man. Too high. Incomplete. And it is 4th down. Sipnewski, the target that time for Hodge.
Eric Passy, number 13, playing that spot that Roy Williams played a year ago, was right on the coverage. Did not go with the play-action pass. That's what Oklahoma State burned them with those play-action passes, and Passy was right on the coverage.
Jason Buryanek is the holder for this field goal attempt by Pat Brome. It'll be a 41-yarder. Colorado hoping to get on the board first. To the right side, no good. So the Buffaloes waste Brian Calhoun's career-long 37-yard run. Now, Oklahoma's turn when we come back. Oklahoma quarterback Nate Hibble told us he wants to go on the attack quickly against Colorado.
Different defenses have different styles, and theirs is more of a slow-paced type. Well, okay, we're going to get lined up, and I'm not saying that's bad, but we're going to try to take advantage of that.
So look for an up-tempo to start this game. With Smith, the H-back look. Griffin, the starting tailback, powers his way, and so Hibble, the 6'4", 220-pound senior. He's a big dude, bigger than you might think. Without looking at the sideline, Hibble now will take the play into the huddle. Peoples goes out to the left. Fagan is the slot man over there. Smith is off to the right. Hibble is flanked by two players now. Griffin, one of them. Now Smith flexes out further. They motion Donnelly, the other tight end, give him the H-back look. Fire for Smith, trying to get to the first down marker where he is out of bounds in our Dr. Pepper starting lineup. Look at the seniors who will be lost by Oklahoma, but folks, consider Griffin. After that touch, 446 touches without a fumble. An unbelievable record. The senior, Mike Skinner, Vince Carter returning to the starting lineup. First and 10 as Smith did pick up the first down for the Sooners. Here comes that handoff to number 22. Powering behind his lineman. Stop made by Wilder. Tyler Brayton is the leader of this defensive front for Colorado. Big difference is the fact that Tufts, the linebacker, has returned. Drew Walrus, the senior, but Sean Tufts is a difference maker, and he did not play in November down in Norman.
See some quick huddles coming up for Oklahoma already, just like he's told us.
Strickland, the leading tackler. And this will be 3rd and short coming up for the Sooners. Brayton forcing Griffin out of bounds.
You can see the game emerging. Oklahoma wants to run Quentin Griffin, but they want to do it with a little quicker tempo than they did last time. And I think also you're going to see Oklahoma go deep a few more times. They had a big lead in the last game in rainy conditions.
Vince Okru over on the sideline has signaled his Colorado defense. They look 3 wide now with Smith flexed. They're going to throw for it. Got the first down. It's Peoples across midfield. He was out of bounds at the 48-yard line. And Jack Arute, there's a new look with this Colorado defense here tonight.
Yeah, Brent, you were referring to defensive coordinator Vince Okru signaling in the plays. Don't be so sure that they're coming from Vince. You see, after the last game, Vince Okru discovered or highly suspects that Oklahoma had gotten all of the defensive signs and were using them to their advantage. So what they've done is they've divvied it up amongst 3 different coaches. 2 of them are dummies, and 1 of them is the real sign.
It's something that NFL offenses do just about every Sunday. First down and 10. Play fake. Hibble rolls right. On the run, complete to the 42-yard line. A pickup of 6 yards. Antoine Savage.
Let's talk about what OU wants to do. They want to count that box. When you're in a spread for offense, you have to count. If they have more in there, you must throw. Oklahoma must take some of those short throws and run with the ball after yards after catch, and never forget about our little guy, number 22, Quentin Griffin. He is a game breaker in himself.
Griffin came on the field late.
They're going to get a penalty. 12 men in the huddle.
You know, he wasn't in the huddle. He was a late substitute. He came off the sideline.
Yeah, but they had 11 in there already, and that'll kind of cost them.
5-yard penalty.
John Bible, the referee of this Big 12 crew, and an all-star crew it is. These fellas were selected, and Stoops is very, very upset about that late substitution and that foolish penalty.
You can live with a few penalties, but the self-inflicted ones like that, that's just the mechanics of offense.
Brandon Jones, a very good-looking wide receiver, is off to the left. He has single coverage out there. Second down and long. If Hibble comes up firing, looking for a target, he's got one-on-one, but he's going to run the toss. Here's Griffin. One man cannot bring him down. In fact, Griffin talked about how tough he is. So back into the huddle, 3rd down. There's that toss. Griffin. 1st down, sideline, out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Sean Tufts, the Colorado defender, and the OU offense with a 20-yard burst.
Trent Smith is being considered, number 88, the All-Big 12 tight end, is being considered by Colorado as a tight end. But watch him come out here and stalk block. That's really what allows this option play to go. Smith at the bottom of the screen, right there. Look at that block. That allows your running back to get those extra yards and pick up 20 instead of 6 or 7 yards. Good job, Trent Smith.
And Griffin is a rascal. 5 carries, 39 yards already in this game. He's coming again. Can one man stop him? It took 3 to get there, and we talked to Quentin Griffin about how difficult he is to bring down.
We do a lot of squats in the weight room, so I guess that helped us run through tackles as running backs and as receivers also. But, you know, I don't like to get tackled by one guy.
It's worth. I consider Quentin Griffin to be the most underrated running back in college football. He is a gamer. He put 250 up on the horns this year. Kewan Jones will give him a break. He's a tough runner. Number 20 for the Sooners. Here he comes. Big hole. And he's stopped at about the 12-yard line. This Oklahoma team is coming off the ball with a lot of desire. Something to prove here tonight after losing again to Oklahoma State.
How about this, Brett? They're giving Colorado their own play here. Power O. Watch the offside guard right here. Pull. Power O. Fullback, off guard. Colorado offense right in their face. Give them a little bit of their own medicine. 2 tight ends almost the whole 1st quarter so far. Here's 2 tight ends again lining up right there.
Runnels is the fullback, the lead blocker, and there's movement. Contact was made.
Before the snap occurred, offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
That's a 1st down. Well, tomorrow is the last chance for the top skaters from around the globe to qualify for the ISU Grand Prix final. Don't miss the action. Now, ABC will take you to Japan for the NHK Trophy tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Oklahoma's the #1 offense in the Big 12 inside the red zone. You see it right there.
Jones stays in as the running back. Behind the right side. Within about 3 yards of the goal line, it'll be 2nd down and goal for the Sooners.
No way Colorado thought this was going to be the game plan from Oklahoma. Remember, this was the team that won the national championship with Josh Heupel, spreading it out and throwing. Last year they couldn't run the ball with a finesse offense. Now they're lining up 2 tight ends and running it right at the Colorado defense.
Now they're rushing. You can see the difference that Kevin Wilson has made as a coach on this staff coming from Northwestern. Changed the way this offensive line blocks. 2nd down and goal. The toss. Jones stopped. Very, very good defense down by the goal line that time. Corey Masoni, number 12, the senior from Broomfield, Colorado, led the charge.
Great job. This defense features a strong safety, a weak safety, and a free safety. It's an 8-man front, and those 2 guys, Masoni is playing a strong safety, but he was really spent 3 years here at Colorado as a linebacker. So this is an 8-man front defense, and so far Oklahoma's running the ball right in the teeth of it.
Oku's defense digs in. 3rd down and goal. Play fake. Hibble's going to throw for it. Got a man wide open. Touchdown. His roommate, Trent Smith. Hibble to 88, and the Sooners are on the board.
Third down play action. You see that number 81, Brandon Jones, come right there, and then Trent Smith come right outside for the touchdown. One guy goes inside, they cross. A little pick action and a perfect throw from Nate Hibble, but it was all set up with that run game inside.
Trey DiCarlo. Tacks on the extra point. Last week was the only time in Bob Stoops' career in Oklahoma that he did not lead once. That will not be the case here tonight. Sooners lead it 7-0. The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship on ABC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. Pontiac, fuel for the soul. The people of Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. And Budweiser, delivering beer at its best. That crisp, clean, refreshing taste known only the king of beers. Well, there's the waterfall, part of the Wortham Center in downtown Houston. That's around the theater district down there. Let's take a look at that Pontiac performance drive summary, and a beautiful drive it was. Nate Hibble was perfect, 4 of 4, including the touchdown pass. Now it'll be the second series for Colorado if they hang on. Couldn't even get back to the 20-yard line. Roderick Sneed bobbling the ball. So we are at the bottom of the hour. Oklahoma and Colorado. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Griffin carried 6 times for 41 yards, setting up the touchdown. Hibble, number 88.
Boy, when you're able to run the ball, it's easy to throw the ball, isn't it? No hard throws at all for Hibble in 4 for 4.
Colorado digging uphill. Coming back with Calhoun. Steps out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
No real mystery what Colorado likes to do. Today they're going to shuffle their look, moving Brandon Jum around, kind of like shuffling the cards, but they want to hammer the ball. They must run the ball between the tackles. Maybe a little bit boring to the people watching it, but wins are never boring. And when you run the ball well, it makes a lot of people happy.
Gary Barnett's team always uses a lot of formations, a lot of different motion, a lot of different personnel, tries to keep defenses off balance. Drum is out of the lineup right now on this 2nd down and 3. Marcus Houston is the back. Hodge has got the middle. Intercepted by Strait. They wave it off. Incomplete.
Don't really know who he was throwing the ball to that time. That was so far underthrown. I don't know if he was trying to get the tight end across or what. Bootleg passes. Sean Watson, Gary Barnett have told Robert Hodge, you do not have to win these games. Take the easy throw. This throw was in the middle of nowhere, and very fortunate they didn't get an early turnover like last time they played this Oklahoma team.
Brian Calhoun checks back in as the running back. DJ Hackett is off to the right. Drum is the lead fullback. Here's Calhoun, cuts away for the first down. And Brian Calhoun looks like he's got a future, my friend.
Well, he had a future in high school, and that's what attracted the Colorado Buffaloes to Brian Calhoun. In fact, a year ago, just 2 weeks before this game, Brian Calhoun was ending his high school career in Wisconsin, and you saw it, some amazing numbers. But a year ago, this weekend, this night, Brian Calhoun was up in a snowy Wisconsin watching the Colorado Buffaloes from Dallas, Texas, as they played the Texas Longhorns for a trip to the Fiesta Bowl.
Now 1st down and 10 after that run. Drum slips out as a receiver. Hodge looks right. Comes back, and Woolfolk would have intercepted it. The receiver had to become a defensive back against number 17 on that play, and McCoy actually saved a pick is what it looked like from up here.
Well, Andre Woolfolk got burned, it seemed like last week, by Rashawn Woods at Oklahoma State, but there was zone and man involved, and those were play action passes. You see this guy, when he zeroes in, he can do it as well as anybody in college football. He was a wide receiver, and McCoy did an excellent job of keeping that from being an interception.
So many times receivers have to turn defensive backs on a play like that. 2nd down and 10, a penalty flag. A penalty flag down on this play. John Bible sorting it out down on the field. It looks like Colorado wants to take shots. Texas A&M and Oklahoma State both went deep on the Sooners. And we asked him if he'd be able to get deep on them.
I don't know whether we can or not. I think that the last game we should have. We had plans to do it, and we pulled our horns in and didn't do it. I think this time that we're just going to execute our plan. We're going to go with it. We're not going to throw the ball all over the place.
Obviously, he didn't think number 4 executed his plan. He was tearing into Monte on that sideline. 2nd down and long. Draw play. Calhoun to the 22-yard line. Pretty good hit by Everidge, who had a huge day against Colorado in that earlier game back on November 2nd. Our performance track will take you to the Oklahoma safety. What a day, Gary.
He really did. He was all over the football field. He was a little nicked. We didn't know if he'd be full speed, but Mike Stoops said he's healthy, he's ready to go. And on that play, he lined up 4 yards from the line of scrimmage, ready to stop that running play.
3rd and long. Colorado's not comfortable in this situation, but Bobby Purify's going to try it. Good receiver.
He's a screen back.
But they have to use him as a blocker, and Hodge takes off, won't get it. Colorado forced to punt. The defensive play is made by Lance Mitchell, number 10.
Lance Mitchell and Teddy Lehman are 2 of the fastest linebackers you'll see in college football. People believe you can run the ball right at them, but when you try to run east and west, they just gobble up players.
Here's one of the best punters in the country, Mark Mariscal, leading the nation, better than 48 yards a punt. This is one of those moments when he needs to drive one. And he was under pressure, and this is not a good punt.
He got a piece of it, Grant.
Big bounce. Antonio Perkins. So Gary felt that that punt was deflected. It was a severe rush. And as a result, Oklahoma will have excellent field position. Timeout. Bit of a high snap, and then watch number 5, Brandon Shelby, come flashing. Gary Danielson was all over this. He got a hand on it, and you'll watch Bible in the background. He will show deflection with his right hand. There is the signal. It was deflected. And now, as a result, OU comes up on their own 48-yard line. That's only a 38-yard punt.
Really expect Oklahoma's going to go deep here.
Quentin Griffin back in the game. He's been a very effective running back. Now it is Smith with the H-back look. Instead, Hibble on the keeper, slashed to the 41-yard line. Well, next Saturday, Phil Mickelson and David Toms team up to represent the USA. They take on pairs from 23 other nations at the World Golf Championships, EMC World Cup, and ABC's coverage begins next Saturday at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
You can tell this is a championship game. Nate Hibble, who's, I think Oklahoma tried to keep him healthy all year. He's not a running quarterback. Jason White, the former starter, was. But in this game, they're running all the options, all the plays.
One of the things that impressed me during pregame warmups was standing behind Nate Hibble You do not appreciate how big this rascal is.
He's a golfer,
when you watch him on television. I mean,
how about check his calves out? We're going to get a shot of his calves one of these times.
And that was a powerful run. He saw that daylight and he just dove in there. And
he's got huge legs.
He's perfect throwing the ball. 4 for 4. Steps up there under center, number 8. Jones back in as the running back. The call for the first down. Jones. Number 37. Line, and speaking of Hibble now, we asked him about the Colorado defense.
It's a challenge for us to play smash mouth ball and say we're still going to run the football when we have to, and to take our shots down the field. I mean, there's going to be some opportunities for some post routes and some deep corner routes that we're going to have to take, and we need to make those plays to be successful.
They're in attack position here, Gary.
They are. Peoples is out there. Trent Smith is down at the bottom.
Clayton is in that slot. Now they bring him in motion. He'll come over to the boundary side. Instead, they stay on the ground. Quentin Griffin.
Sean Tufts. Yeah, Sean Tufts kind of blew that play up from inside. You know, Tyler Brayton has been a little quiet inside. That means that offensive line for Oklahoma is doing a good job. That guy has been a monster up front ever since that UCLA game, but he's been handled inside. 9 Heiss, Brayton, that offensive line, so much a finesse offensive line a year ago, but you see how Tufts 54 blew that play up.
Yeah, the reach block failed, didn't it?
Sure
Second down, they couldn't get to him. Hibble. Griffin, is that a lateral?
It sure was.
If it's a lateral, it's a free ball.
They're calling it incomplete.
Incomplete is the call. We'll go back and take another look.
Right.
The Colorado coaches believe that it was a lateral. I just saw it as very, very close up here.
It was real close.
Tell.
When you're throwing to your left, your right hand is closer to the line of scrimmage.
Look at the replay, but it's not going to do him any good.
It's very close.
Even if the replay's in his favor, folks, forget about it. This is not the National Football League.
Think about this, though. I think it was a double pass, though. I think Quentin Griffin was going to throw that ball, and it was a lateral. I think it was a gimmick play. When the right-handed quarterback turns to the left, his arm is close to the line of scrimmage, and you're susceptible for that call.
Third down.
Oklahoma's blitzing.
And he throws it away out of bounds. Now let's go back and take a look at this as Griffin flared out of the backfield. Watch how the wide receivers go downfield. They pull a lineman over.
Oh, that's right on the line. When he threw that ball, his arm was here, and look at the ball right there. You're going to have to get a protractor out here. I think that's a good no call. It's not that obvious. I think that's not a missed call, but very close.
Blake Ferguson, the OU punter. High and a penalty flag. Ball goes into the end zone, but there is a penalty flag down on the punt. Well, earlier today, the Miami Hurricanes rolled into Tempe. They'll take on Ohio State for all the Tostitos in the Fiesta
The offensive
Bowl.
formation was illegal. Not enough players on the line of scrimmage. Penalties declined. First down.
On the 20-yard line, the ball went on into the end zone. 2 unbeaten football teams, so the computers, they can't mess this one up, folks. There's got to be Ohio State and Miami, and the rest of the thing is really up in the air. There's talk. There's talk that the Orange Bowl folks are going to draft and select Iowa with that first pick. And that would leave the Rose Bowl in all likelihood with the winner of this game. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. Some things could be happening tonight. You never know. Phone lines are burning up. Hodge on a roll. Fires complete to McCoy. And McCoy out of bounds at the first down marker right at the 30-yard line. Bassey, the redshirt freshman safety from Garland, Texas.
A little bit of that shuffle formation that Colorado and Sean Watson, their outstanding offensive coordinator, does. They lined up Brandon Drum, the fullback, wide, brought him in motion, and that really confused the Oklahoma defense. That's why they got an easy pitch and catch.
Those constant shifting formations of Barnett. Trying to get a power game running. Calhoun is very quick. As you watch number 2, and I think back to last week and the job he did in Lincoln, Nebraska against the Cornhusker. That quickness, he's somebody that will cut away from the interference. And if you take a look at what he did here last week against Nebraska, look at this dash. Cut back as he gets through that hole. Very, very quick. In fact, Barnett has told some football friends, don't be surprised if he doesn't wind up being the best of my running backs. Number 2, and he's only a freshman out of Wisconsin. How did Barry Alvarez miss on him? They set the end around, and OU blows it up. Big Corey Klein, the junior from Tulsa, says not today.
This is so different for the Oklahoma defense. Usually they put their safeties back. 2 safeties play the shell, but against Colorado, they put number 7, Everidge, right in there in a linebacker position, and they attack up front. And when you try to run east and west on this speed defense, you have trouble.
At the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship, Oklahoma leads Colorado 7-0.
You're watching ABC Sports, the class of college football.
So when I want to find out where coaches are going to be going next year, I go to my buddy here, Gary Danielson. Now, what about young Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator of Colorado?
Bright coach. He'll get a job. I don't know if he's going to get one this year. There's a lot of competition out there, but I heard he's interested in Utah. But so far, he's got that game plan going with that early run. But that's been about it, Brent. 37 yards rushing on one play, 46, so only 9 the rest.
Hodge is back in the gun on this 3rd down. Oklahoma's keeping him in 3rd and long, and a very conservative call with Calhoun. They're just going to punt it back out of here.
I think that was a good call. You don't want Robert Hodge to throw 3rd and long against his defense. You look at the stats right there.
Our Dr. Pepper first quarter.
Whoa, Dr. Pepper. Oh, here's one for you, right?
They're paying the bills here. Get some Dr. Peppers out here.
Well, I think the key right here is you get Oklahoma running the ball in the first quarter for 63 yards. That's huge.
Now Mariscal, they were coming at him again. They were close again on that punt. Fielded at the 18-yard line and down at the 20. Antonio Perkins, the return man. Well, again, let me remind you, in case you were not with us at the top of the day now, there's great uncertainty as to which teams are going where. Will Iowa go to Miami? Could Oklahoma or Colorado go to Pasadena? We only know one thing tonight. Ohio State and Miami are headed for Tempe to play for all the Tostitos. John Saunders will have the answers at 3:30 Eastern tomorrow.
No, I know I'm going to Pasadena. That's all I know.
You'll be there, my friend. You'll love the Rose Bowl. It's a wonderful, wonderful bowl game. That's why Oklahoma and Colorado are so excited about the prospect of perhaps getting there. The youngsters were delighted when they heard that, as Griffin has run out of bounds because, you know, except for last year's national championship game won by Miami over Nebraska, it's been that traditional matchup, Big Ten, Pac-10. And then when everybody heard that, man, the Orange Bowl is interested in Iowa, these kids, oh, we got a chance to go to Pasadena. We always wanted to play in the Granddaddy. It was great listening to him.
Well, yeah, it's exciting this time. How about playing in this place? Is this stadium something else? I mean, this is
one of the greatest.
The guys walked in here and I saw the kids' faces. It was like, this is big time.
2nd down and 3. Shotgun for Mr. Hibble. He's thrown a touchdown pass here tonight. An inside handoff, and Colorado really ate that play up. Marcus Harris, a junior defensive end who intercepted a pass down in Norman, making the stop. Griffin now, Jack Harut, 9 carries, 46 yards.
And he has yet to put the ball on the ground in 454 touches, Brent. You don't want to talk to Quentin Griffin or to the coaches about that fact, but he did share with me when I was in Norman that there are 2 reasons why he is so good at that. He said, number 1, there's a blaster machine that you work on during practice, tries to knock the ball out. And then he says he's learned to keep the ball tight up against his rib cage. He said, I don't put the ball on the carpet.
And 3rd down and 2. Doesn't put it down on the grass either. Look at it. Rams his helmet down, crosses the 35. Came very close a few moments ago, though, on that lateral or incomplete pass. Here is Quentin Griffin. Runs a 4.43 40. Social Major, very quiet young man. Probably one of the reasons why he didn't get a lot of publicity is he's not comfortable with interviews. I know that Jack did talk to him. Very, very nice young man. Tends to be rather quiet. He's someone, if I was an NFL team and had him know third or fourth, I'd really take a look at Quentin Griffin. Catches well coming out of the backfield. Very strong, hard to bring down. Got that low center of gravity. He's out of Humble, Texas. He's coming on back here to Texas, and not much doing for Quentin that time, and you can see how many black shirts jumped him. Marcus Harris led the way.
You can also see that Vince Okru has decided to be more aggressive on first down. He's attacking the formations and trying to get that running game stopped. Can't win the game if you're Colorado if Oklahoma runs the ball well on first down. Trent Smith, the play before, looked like Griffin landed on top of him. He limped off, and it looks like Brent, it didn't look that bad. I saw him standing there.
I got to tell you, though, Gary, that can sometimes you roll up on the back.
He ran okay, though, off the field.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope he's all right. Hibble back now, sets a screen. On the juggle, 22. That's why he's so impressive as he crosses the 45 for another Oklahoma first down, 15 yards. Mr. Hibble now 6 of 8 for 48, and Jack, how's his touchdown target, Smith?
Well, and his roommate, Trent Smith, is getting taped on the outside of his shoe. It's just a slight sprain. They're going to immobilize it just a little bit with the tape, and he'll be sent back out to try and catch some more passes.
Boy,
from his roommate.
Chuck Long is keeping this Colorado defensive coordinator for Oklahoma completely off balance. They don't know what to do.
There's that inside handoff. Penalty flag on the play thrown by the linesman on this side. Al Green is our head linesman over here.
Don't know if it's 5 or 15, but the way Quentin Griffin went down, you might suspect it's 15. Yep, personal foul. That'll be 15-yarder. You know, one of the things, and when you saw the thing as you would come to the right side, face max right there, and Griffin goes down, they will call that personal foul, 15 yards. One of the advantages, and you know, I thought Barry Sanders talked about this, the Lion great running back. When you're smaller, it's an advantage. Barry didn't fumble much, and neither does Quentin Griffin, because those tackles happen above the ball, and you can keep the ball below the traffic. It's an advantage to protect the ball with a smaller back.
Big old Wallace got a big old paw up there on that face.
Kind of got a tusk. He got a tusk with that one.
There's your penalty situation. Hibble back there in the gun. Using some motion now. Mark Clayton coming through the formation. Hibble firing deep high. Caught against Strickland at the 25-yard line. Mark Clayton who lined up out there.
Well, that was good coverage, too. Clayton against Strickland kind of came in and out in motion right here. Comes in and out, and watch this throw from Hibble right over his shoulder. See it, no pressure on Hibble, can step into the throw. He knows he's got a lot of green grass. He puts it up high. A wonderful throw by Nate Hibble. Boy, caught right there with those nice gloves.
Trent Smith is back on the field for OU. He's split out to the right as a wide man. Hibble looking at option play, coming to Quentin Griffin, and Griffin to the 22-yard line, and he's rushed now for 48 yards. Well, Coach Bob Stoops says his offense is more physical this year, and they're showing it.
We have more attitude in our offensive line and how we come off the ball, and are more physical in our blocking, and we've created better scenes, so hopefully that'll continue.
And down is Donnelly now, number 86, their other tight end.
It might have been the same thing that happened. I did not see the end of the play, but he was one of the lead blockers.
Let's take a break. Oklahoma 7, Colorado nothing at the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. This injury looked a little nastier to Lance Donnelly. That injured leg needed assistance to reach the sideline, so he becomes a question mark as far as returning is concerned. Second down for Hibble and the Sooners. The toss play, and Jones crosses the 20-yard line. Well, it's time for our Aflac trivia question. And who holds the record for the most rushing yards in a Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game? Chris Brown last year, Amon Green of Nebraska, or how about Priest Holmes of Texas? It was multiple choice tonight. So 3rd down and short with Jones, the running back. James Moses, a sophomore tight end, has replaced Donnelly as they continue to operate with 2 tight ends. They run Jones right straight ahead, and Buffaloes were stout. Sean Tufts, Okru told me he made a difference, a big difference with his defense, and he stepped in there on Jones smartly that time.
And that was his first game against Nebraska in about the last 6. And you see the 2 linebackers, Tufts and Wall, was right there, and they meet the isolation play right in the hole. Looked like he got close to the 1st down right there, but you see the 2 linebackers, 16 and 54. That's how you take on that isolation play. What a different personality this Oklahoma team has than a year ago. They can run the ball. Last year they couldn't do it at all.
Just enough. Jack, what are you hearing about Donnelly down below?
Well, Brent, it's up in the high ankle area, and they have checked him out, and they're actually going to retape him up because Lance Donnelly doesn't want to come out of the game. He's been pleading with the trainers. He said, just tape it up good and tight, and I'll show you that I can still be mobile on it. So he knows it's a championship game, and he wants in for more.
Tough hole, Sooner. 1st down and 10. Hibble. Firing high and incomplete. Jones, the intended target. Brandon Jones, good-looking young receiver. Donald Strickland, the leading tackler in a tough corner. Brent Musburger with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute at the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship live here in Houston, Texas. The Texans, brand new stadium, Reliant Stadium. 2nd quarter, 9:44. 2nd down and 10. Griffin is the running back. Motion from Peoples, but the play is whistled dead.
Oklahoma had a kind of a trick formation there, unbalanced line, and yeah, they didn't line up. They tried to beat them to the line of scrimmage, and they did not line up and get set.
The offensive leaders tonight, Hibble, 7 of 10, has thrown a touchdown in this game. Griffin. And for Colorado, Calhoun for 58 yards. He had his career long on his first carry of the game, 37. So Griffin having a big day as the leading receiver and running back for OU. He has 22 yards catching the ball and 48 more running the ball here tonight. 2nd down and 15. So coming off a loss, Bob Stoops takes the Sooners back to physical man-on-man football. But now the gun, 2nd and long, Hibble end zone, touchdown! A 2-touchdown lead. Mark Clayton, the sophomore wide receiver, 21 yards. And Nate Hibble now has pitched 2 touchdown passes for the Sooners.
Very interesting formation by Oklahoma that time. They put 2 players, Smith, right next, here they are, look at the stack right here, and only 1 Colorado player. One guy goes out, and boom, look at that open area right there. Hibble must have done a good job of looking off the safety because the safety was nowhere near that skinny post throw. Good game plan for Oklahoma tonight.
DeCarlo deflected. And it'll stick at 13. And so the Buffaloes with Phil Jackson blocking the extra point. The junior from Colorado Springs and being congratulated on that sideline. The touchdown. It was Hibble. Clayton breaks free. But they missed the extra point. So it's only 13. Timeout. Well, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship on ABC Sports is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. BU, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. Cadillac, bold vehicles, defying convention. Rocky Mountain Coal, Coors Light, cold, down, and easy. And Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles, and proud sponsor of the Heisman Trophy Award. Next Saturday, that mystery will be resolved as Snead fields the kickoff. but not much further than the 19 or 20-yard line, and the fired-up Sooners leading by 13 bore in.
One more look. Here's the free safety. The quarterback is responsible for him. There's two receivers to this side. Now watch how Nate Hibble moves the safety. He looks this way, and then he throws a bullet back the other way. That's wonderful quarterbacking. You're responsible for that free safety. When you throw the skinny posts, you see him. Just a glance to his left is all you need to do. Wonderful job.
Brian Calhoun, the Colorado tailback. The call. Looking to cut back, and number 53 jumped it right there. Jackson was all over it on that cutback. The Oklahoma defenders now are taking a bead on number 2, and they know that he is likely to cut back once he gets into that hole, and that chasing linebacker that time, he ate him up.
We talked to Mike Stoops. He said, I know Brian Calhoun's a good player, but it's going to be nice not to tackle that sledgehammer, Chris Brown. Stoops right there said that guy is a load. We can handle fast backs.
Brent Venables agreed. There's a play fake. Hodge going to take it off. Can he get the first down? He cannot. Third down and short, Lance Mitchell. Well, earlier we asked you the Aflac trivia question: who holds the record for the most rushing yards at a Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game? The answer, did you guess? Last year. Here he is. This is what Colorado is missing. He rushed for 182 yards in last year's game, and because of that injured cartilage, he has been sidelined, and that means that Colorado is without 1,700 yards of offense. Here comes the youngster trying to get the first down. Lehman took him on that time.
Not gonna get it. Boy, Teddy Lehman, he's got a nose for that football, and it's tough to get to him. Isn't it, Brent? Have you seen a quicker linebacker than Teddy Lehman?
No, I haven't this year. You're right, Gary. He's the fastest we've seen.
And he's going to fill out. I mean, he's just a junior. It's like he's been there forever already. You know, he's going to put on another 20 pounds before he's done growing.
Mariscal. Perkins is driven back to the 15. Thrown down at the 27-yard line. The Sooners with a pair of touchdowns. They lead the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship. Timeout.
John Saunders back in New York with the Coors Light update. Georgia against Arkansas, SEC championship game. David Green, a little play action there, finds Ben Watson 20 yards, and 30-3, Georgia on their way to the victory. Brent.
I know. I was going to mention.
So the Georgia Bulldogs up here headed for the Sugar Bowl with a big edge on Arkansas, and of course, who will they wind up playing? Could it be USC? Figure one of the at-large teams, maybe Florida State. That's a question still to be answered. From the gun, Hibble on that inside handoff again. So Quentin Griffin, 50-yard first half for him.
Exactly what Colorado defense needs to do. Stop that run game on first down. Chuck Long is going to keep running the ball on first down as long as he's successful with it. Why not? Colorado forces a little second and long and third and long. Look at Oklahoma so far in this game. 5 for 6 on third down. That's because they're running the ball well early.
Is that familiar run or pass look by Oklahoma? Runnels in that backfield. Hibble wide open on the corner. Down at the 30-yard line, though, and we'll take a look at our Pac Life game summary. The 2 Sooner touchdowns. Both Hibble throws. First to his roommate, Smith. Then on the second one, it's Clayton. But then Colorado came in with a blocked extra point. And Phil Jackson giving him a bit of a lift on that play. Can the Buffaloes stop Hibble and the Sooners? They spread the field. 5 receivers. Need to get to the 37, throws for it. Smith tries to reach for it. Not out of bounds. Well defended by Jackson, who's having a good game.
They had the matchup they wanted. Trent Smith matched up against a linebacker, but boy, nice job by Jackson coming up. You see it, they got inside, matched up on a linebacker, but here comes this corner reading the play perfectly. Boy, that's nice hands. He got hit just as he caught that ball and caught it.
Just short of a first down, and an injured Colorado player is Phil Jackson, who blocked that extra point. So he's down on the ground receiving medical attention. You would think leading by 13, fourth and about a yard to go here, that Stoops will not gamble, but we'll still have to wait and see what he decides to do. A reminder that tomorrow on a new practice here on ABC, one lawyer must face his own guilt before he destroys himself. A new practice, that's tomorrow, 9 Central, right here on ABC. You know, while I'm thinking about it here in prime time tonight as we watch Bob Stoops and football, there are the Tostitos BCS standings. Miami and Ohio State will go to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl to play for the national championship. Georgia with a big lead, figures to be the host team in the Sugar Bowl, the Nokia Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. USC figures to be an at-large team, and they could wind up in New Orleans or even down in Miami. Iowa could wind up in Miami or out in Pasadena. But I started to say that watching football under the lights, you know, we take it for granted with Monday Night Football having become an institution. Here we are watching championship college football in the bowl season. It reminds me that the man who started this all passed away the other day, Roone Arledge, and what an institution that football under the lights. We owe so much of what we see on sports television to the marvelous leadership that Roone supplied at ABC Sports through the years, and we pass on our condolences to his family. The services will be Monday in New York. I'm sure there will be a huge crowd there. Our director, Larry Cam, will be one of the directors. The funeral will be seen on television, and we will take a break. Gary, fairly one-sided in the quarterback situation.
Yeah, so far in this game, Robert Hodge misses Chris Brown. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You have to help him. Bobby Purify, Chris Brown, their two main guys, need to help Robert Hodge. He's a play-action pass guy, and they don't have him.
Well, maybe the mogul skier, Jeremy Bloom, can light a fire on this Ferguson punt. Colorado needs a lift. Oklahoma dominating the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship. They only misfired on that one extra point. Lead it by 13. Bloom on the run. Nowhere. Down short of the 30-yard line. Well, coming up at halftime is the Dr. Pepper $1 million pass. This is Don Reed from Westminster, Colorado. He'll attempt to throw 3 passes into a giant 8-foot Dr. Pepper can for up to $1 million. There's Nancy. She's already spent half of it. She's there to the left. See, now she's ready. She says, now get out there. Don Reed. And he'll be up with Jack Arute at halftime, and we'll see if he can throw the old football, chuck it into that Dr. Pepper can. 5:26 now. Still plenty of time, and Calhoun not getting much now after that opening run by Calhoun. He's carried 11 times for 64 yards, but 37 of those yards came on his first carry.
You know who's been quiet in this football game has been Brandon Drum. He is one of the key players in this offense, and Colorado must find ways to get Drum the football. Throw to him short. He's a good screen player. They must find number 33. They're flanking him out wide this time.
Putting him out as a pure receiver, bringing him in motion. He can still lead it, and he does. Big hole. Calhoun cuts the daylight. He's got speed. Straight's chasing him, and he's got him down at the 42-yard line. Whoa, you give him a little daylight, and he is off. That's 25 more yards for Calhoun.
See, that little changeup of putting Drum out at wide receiver and bringing him in changed up Oklahoma's defense enough that they lost their defense. They lost their safety, Phil, and Brandon Everidge did not fit the gap, and all of a sudden you got to play. That's that coaching that gave Nebraska problems and really has been the difference that Drum brings to this offense. Here he comes again.
Calhoun cuts the daylight again. The linebackers were looking at number 33. Calhoun, stumbling, loses his balance, but not before he crosses the 20. That is 23 more yards, and he is now at 112 yards in the first half.
You see it, Drum gets in here. He started at wide receiver to get here, and he plays this way, but look at Colorado doesn't have their, Oklahoma, doesn't have their fits. There's the cutback right there, and all of a sudden, things that were, remember we did that Nebraska game against Colorado, Drum did the same thing. He motioned back and forth, and all of a sudden that Oklahoma defense does not have their safeties in the right spot.
Number 2 stays on the field. 100-yard first half. Drum in motion's been the difference. He's the lead man. There's daylight. Short of the 15-yard line. Well, a reminder that coming up on the Capital One halftime show, John and Terry will have highlights and analysis, plus the Dr. Pepper $1 Million Pass. And Jim McKay will reflect on his dear friend and longtime boss, Roone Arledge. I don't think anybody through the years was any closer to Roone than Jim McKay, and we'll hear from him at halftime. 2nd down and 7. Number 21, Marcus Houston. Not much doing there. Lance Mitchell, number 10, hitting first.
Now this is where Robert Hodge can make a play with his feet. Bootleg play, run pass option, get outside, try to pick up the first down either with an easy throw or scramble and get the play.
Bobby Purify, good receiver, checks in. You would think that Barnett would be looking for a little dump off here. The first down marker is at the 10-yard line. Hodge rolls right. Now he's got it open to the left. Straight stops him short of the first down. So Straight playing excellent position defense. Never bought the roll right. Stayed right at home. Went one-on-one and watched number 2.
Yeah, 2's back here. He does a good job. All the flow goes this way. Oklahoma does a great job of covering the pattern front side. Straight stays home, and then just kind of out-athletes Robert Hodge.
Now Brome. Can he put Colorado on the board? Missed from 41. This a 32-yarder. Was going right again. No good. The kicking game is backed up on Barnett.
Yeah, it's a second missed field goals. Brome has missed. Colorado has missed field goals in 8 of their games this year. They're 11th out of 12 teams in the Big 12 in field goal percentage. They came in at 50%. You missed 2, you got to be below 50%. Hey, we even learned that. Not good. Hard to be a champion when you're down in field goal kicking, especially against a team like Oklahoma.
As Barnett was talking to Patrick Brome, the senior from Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Now that inside handoff, and the Black Shirts bring in muscle. Medford Moore led the assault against Clinton that time.
Colorado has all of their timeouts. It looks to me like Oklahoma would like to get out of the first half with a 13-0 lead. They want to run the ball. If they don't pick up positive yards here, I suspect Gary Barnett will take a timeout.
Well, at halftime, John will show you how Miami advanced back to the national championship game. Willis McGahee, Ken Dorsey, big days, both of them. Miami's only misstep is they tried to use Dorsey as a receiver once, and it blew up in their face late in that game. Gary didn't think much of that call, folks. Second down.
It's up there. It's up there with the bad ones.
Griffin to the 25-yard line.
Senior's got to take a timeout. They're behind third. They do. Good coaching job by Gary Barnett right here. You got to play aggressive. You got to take a chance. Maybe you block a punt, get back in the game.
Been a tough night so far for Barnett. Timeout. Not getting a whole lot better, Gary.
No, about the only position he can play is quarterback for Washington State.
Jason Kessler did a wonderful job with an injured high ankle sprain, and Conley continues to limp away. We got a third down now from the 25-yard line. And Hibble looked back at the referee, and he wanted a timeout. Jack, how about our injury situation?
Well, Phil Jackson has been taken to the locker room for some x-rays. They are concerned about his shoulder. They don't know whether it's a separation or anything more serious, but they're going to take him in there because one of the great things about Reliant Stadium is they actually have all the NFL requirements, the x-ray machines, everything else right here because of the Houston Texans.
This is a great facility. The locker room that the Texans have may be the best in the NFL. This is a roof that can be closed in 7 minutes if a fierce storm comes up. It is open here, and this certainly stands out as perhaps the most beautiful and functional stadium in the National Football League. And of course, tomorrow, Gary, we've got the BCS selection show at 3:30 Eastern. I know you'll be watching to see who's going to Pasadena. It's the Tostitos selection show. John and Terry will have all the answers for us at 3:30 Eastern.
I think there'll be some lobbying late into the night tonight.
Oh, listen.
Those cell phone minutes going, you think?
So there's the running back comparison right now. And difference, of course, in this football game is that Oklahoma has been able to finish what Griffin has started. And remember, Griffin has also picked up 22 more yards receiving passes by Hibble. Jones, third down. And Hibble on a pump fake tries to go long, and Strickland had really stopped the receiver, Will Peoples.
I was going to try a hitch and go. Remember the last time for Oklahoma, they ran a third down pass to Trent Smith, and Phil Jackson bid on it. Here it's a hitch and go to the outside. Strickland holds his ground. Boy, it was right on the same stem. I mean, that could have gone either way. Strickland, if you had Peoples try to avoid him a little bit more, I think they would have called that one.
Ferguson knows he'll probably be under fire. Bloom is back to return the punt.
Ferguson's a three-step punter.
Colorado, 44 seconds. The Sooners calling out their assignments, and they set the return. Going to go out of bounds and stop the clock with 36 seconds. So Bloom is a great mogul skier, Jack.
Yeah, Brent, things get a little hectic for Jeremy Bloom around this time of year. Going to play in this game, then he's hitting the slopes with some of the new snow in Colorado to prepare to go to a World Cup event for moguls in Finland on December 19th. And in between, he's got to take final exams, and I'm sure he's going to have to look at a little video if Colorado should win this game and go to a bowl game.
Well, they'll go to a bowl game somewhere, win or lose. They're an attractive item, these Buffaloes, and Hodge trying to do something, overthrows the deep man. I believe that was McCoy breaking down there from the slot, but still 31 seconds to work with. If there has been a difference here between the two, you'd have to look at the passing stats. Hodge having a little difficulty getting started, is 2 of 6 for 28 yards, and Hibble 10 of 14 for 87 and 2 touchdowns.
Well, I think Oklahoma has forced Hodge to throw the ball from the pocket and not the little bootleg game that he wants to do.
Second down and 10. Underneath man, and he threw that high. So Monte losing his balance, and he was wide open when he caught that ball. He would have picked up, and he might even have got a first down and stopped the clock. So the offense for Colorado has been freshman running back Brian Calhoun. Eric Benamy has done a good job with these running backs, one after another. And watch this burst, and the young man's ability to cut back. Now straight and flat fly, and he's causing straight problems there. Here he is again. Straight running him down from behind that time. Well, that's been a pretty good matchup.
I think the other difference, you can see why the Colorado passing game's not working. Usually when you watch Colorado run the ball, they're getting 6 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards. Calhoun has got his runs in big chunks. That means they have not been able to set up that play-action pass game off of it.
Bottom of the hour, and Oklahoma leading Colorado 13-0 at the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. The Sooners 2 touchdowns here in the first half and a missed extra point. That's why we're sitting on the 13. Earlier today, Miami made it to the national championship game, and believe me, the Ohio State Buckeyes will have their hands full with that crew. Plenty of speed. Maurice Clarett gets more time to get healthy. That'll help the Buckeyes. Ohio State with a stout defense. Third down. Hodge fires deflected. Incomplete. Straight for a moment. Looked like might have a shot at that ball.
You'll see Oklahoma come with the blitz right here. Forced a hot throw. Teddy Lehman's there. Ball bounce up and straight knocks it down. And now Colorado's going to be forced to punt. I would go after this one. If I was Oklahoma, I would go after it and try to block it.
Oklahoma has a timeout left. 19 seconds. Mariscal. There's nobody back to return this. Oklahoma just going to let it roll dead. And it does with 8 seconds left on the clock.
Another good coaching job by Bob Stoops. Why take a chance and field that punt? You may drop it. You know you're going to take a knee anyway. Just let the ball roll and finish the half.
Jonathan Hayes is the special teams coach for Oklahoma. Jonathan is someone, when you're thinking about a head coach somewhere, a very impressive young man is Jonathan Hayes. And I talked to him. I said, you know, Jonathan, you've never been a coordinator. Does it matter? He said, you know, but I coordinate the special teams at Oklahoma. I spend a lot of time. I think I've studied the offensive side of the ball, and he'd be worth a look for some of these schools. As Hibble content to run out the clock, and the Sooners will take this 13-point lead on in the locker room here at the Big 12 Championship game. And let's join Jack again.
Well, Coach, Hibble's getting it in the air. Quentin Griffin's getting it on the ground. Do you change anything?
Just got to continue to play well and execute. You know, sure, we've made a few mistakes defensively. Hopefully we'll get those corrected, some adjustments. They give you a lot of different formations. We'll get that hopefully ironed out at halftime. And, yeah, offensively, we just got to keep moving it and scoring.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Outstanding coach. Bob Stoops, a few years ago, won a national championship. Now, will he go to Pasadena or Miami? He's got a half ahead of him against Colorado. Let's go to John and Terry.
Coach, that first half was all Oklahoma, and especially on defense, they had you handled.
Especially in the red zone. And, you know, they're hard to get down there in the first place. And then when you get there, you got to come away with points. And our regular offense, we couldn't get ourselves first downs and had to try the field goals and miss them. But this is a really good defense we're playing against. We got to play smarter and better and harder. But, you know, who knows? We got a whole half to play, and we got to get a turnover or two.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, Jack, you know, when you think about this game, those 2 missed field goals that Gary referred to, had they converted those, Gary, they'd be only one big play out of this game. But we've got to go. Colorado misses the hammer.
They really do. I mean, Brian Calhoun's got a nice half, 115 yards, but 85 have been on 3 plays. That's not like Colorado. They like to grind the ball, boom, 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 6-5-4. They need to do that. But I tell you what, turnover's a good idea too, though, for Colorado.
Oklahoma with the first possession of the second half, and they can really get a stranglehold if they can do something. Savage, the return man, and out to the 24 as we take a look now at the Pacific Life game summary. First half statistics, and Colorado being stymied on the third down because Robert Hodge, Gary, is only 3 of 8.
Yeah, he is. A nice balance by Oklahoma. Look at that, 87-87. That's what you dream about as a coordinator. And Chuck Long has used the running game and the passing game to keep Colorado completely off balance. Look at that, though. No turnovers the first half. Last time, remember, Colorado turned the ball over 4 times in a loss.
Phil Jackson, injured in that first half, is not out there on the Colorado defense. The toss to Griffin. Daylight slashes to the 31-yard line. Let's check in with New York and John Saunders.
Brent, your game will crown the last champion for the BCS in the automatic burst because Georgia has won in the SEC, beating Arkansas 30-3. Mark Richt gets the shower, and it's a cold one for the Dogs. SEC champs for the first time since '82.
All right, John, and obviously there's a chance that the winner of this game would wind up in New Orleans also. So there's all sorts of possibilities out there in the BCS air tonight. Second down and short. Great defense that time by Colorado, and Sam Wilder led the charge. Great play by number 90.
Well, that's what Colorado needs to do. At the point of attack that time, you look at, they're going to just ram it right here. They're not going to allow any movement. And then inside, Wilder pops a block, comes up, forces the ball east and west instead of downhill, and they make a play. You gain 8 yards on first down, second and short, they stop, and a huge play here on third and medium.
Fagan's to the left, Savage is off to the right for Hibble. He has Griffin as Fagan comes in motion. Dropped. And Oklahoma forced a punt on the first series of the second half. Nate Hibble coming off a outstanding first half performance with 2 touchdown passes. But now the Colorado defense stiffens here on the first series. Bloom back to return this punt. The Buffaloes seeking some field position. Blake Ferguson standing on the OU 15-yard line. You look from behind him now. Beautiful punt. Bloom to the 20. Daylight. 40. Here comes the mogul man. Cuts to the outside. Foot race. Touchdown, Colorado. How's that for going down a slippery slope? 80 yards on the Bloom return. The Buffaloes are right back in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship.
Hey, when you're running full speed this way and you got a guy running 4-4 the opposite way, it's really tough to make a tackle. You've got to break down and not attack that punt returner full speed like that. Slow down, gather your momentum, and make the tackle. They're going for the knockout.
Extra point is added. How important now are those 2 missed field goals? Earlier this year, Jeremy Bloom had a chance for a punt return as you watch a Moguls champion on the right-hand side of your screen. Similar moves, Gary.
It is. He's got great speed and instinct, and he gets it from speed.
Jeremy Bloom.
The reason why Jeremy Bloom is so good at returning kickoffs is the same reason why he is so good as a mogul skier. The ability to separate his upper body movements from his lower body movements. They say that makes him an elusive guy to tackle, Brent.
And he certainly was all of that. Putting Colorado Jack right back in the thick of things. Now Savage and Perkins back deep. Both dangerous for OU. Mariscal, the punter, kicks it into the end zone. And Savage takes a knee. You know, Quentin Griffin is going to be the target, and we had a chance to ask Clyde Sorrell the key to stopping Griffin in this game.
He reminds me of Barry Sanders, you know. Barry Sanders, he's small, but he make you miss. He breaks tackles. You got to wrap him up. You got to stop him. I mean, you got to get him. You got to stop him before he gets in the rhythm.
In that last series, Colorado was able to stop OU before they got in the rhythm. The key phrase, can they stop him before the rhythm? First down and 10. Hibble on first down, flares Griffin. Looking for some rhythm and a pass play. And a good tackle at the 23-yard line. Donald Strickland with another saving tackle. Oklahoma, 2 touchdown passes in the first half. But now we've got a Donnybrook at the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship because of Bloom's ability to come down the slope at Reliance Stadium. Second down for Hibble and OU. That shotgun look. Play fake. Hibble rolls to his left, fires, deflected, incomplete. And Roderick Sneed out of Mesquite, Texas, knocks it down.
Wonderful play by Sneed. Sneed's in the game because Phil Jackson left with that sore shoulder, whether it's separated or not. Watch Sneed cut underneath this play, reach out with his inside hand, the hand closest to the quarterback. That's what you got to do, and he did not grab the receiver. You don't grab him, you don't get called. He just covered Curtis Fagan all the way across the field.
Ronaldo works. Checks in. Very good as a screen pass receiver. He's in the OU backfield to Hibble's left. Hibble goes deep right. Badly thrown and knocked out of bounds. There was no receiver in the vicinity. Sneed working back there, but we got a personal foul, roughing the passer.
Automatic first down.
And an automatic first down. And OU says thank you very much.
Hibble throwing deep. Curtis Fagan broke off his route and stopped. Hibble lets the ball go. 1, 2 steps, and late Wilder got him. You can't take 2 steps. They'll call it. You seen him turn around and look at the official. If he got away with it, Wilder gets the penalty.
He's a better football player than that, Gary. It looked like he had time to pull out of there, didn't
Absolutely. It? Took 1 too many steps. He got zeroed in. He got caught up in the momentum of the game. He just didn't follow. You got to follow, stay calm. Look at the horizon, not get caught up in all the emotion.
Now from the 39-yard line. Here's the option look, the toss to Griffin. Fumble! He's got it back. So again, Quentin Griffin keeps his streak alive of not losing the football as Medford Moore jumps in and pressures him.
Nice play by Moore. Option play to the outside. Looked like Quentin had something. Watch, the arm goes across, punches the ball with his right hand, and Quentin Griffin very fortunate to get that ball back. Touches, no fumbles, and that one was right on the football.
465 touches, but that one came perilously close for the Sooners. 4 out. Hibble in trouble, sets the screen, and here's Griffin. Couldn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and long. Strickland, the leading tackler on this team, along with Masoni, number 12, in on him.
Boy, there's a different defense for Colorado. Gary Barnett told Jack, we got to play harder, and you can see it. Colorado just playing harder. They're running faster, and they're tackling people in the open field. You can tell when a team's playing better, tackles in the open field. It is just very apparent that this Colorado team came to play in the second half.
Whenever Barnett wants emotion, he and Okru, they turn to Eric Bieniemy. No one fires up the Buffaloes like their former great running back. 3rd down and long. Colorado will claim that they were pulled on that play as the flags come flying, and referee Bible sorts it out.
That's the first time the crowd got in the game.
False start on the offense.
No question.
Movement in the offensive line.
We mentioned Eric Bieniemy. Hat on backwards. Mouthpiece up high. Let's get it on now. It's time to play. Nap time is over.
Gary Barnett has 4 former Colorado football players on his staff. Along with Eric, we've got Brian Cabral, linebackers, John Embry, a wide receiver coach, and Vance Joseph coaching the defensive backs. 4 former Buffs are coaching on this staff.
3rd and forever. Hibble checks his wide to the left. Continues to look right. badly off target that time. Hibble down on the 20-yard line, and Oklahoma forced to punt again. And it is the Colorado defense turning things around here in Houston. And Jeremy Bloom gets another shot.
Oklahoma has two extremely quick guys running down on this punt, but they must break down and not try to get a knockout punch.
So the Gunners, they'll try to swing free. The return, short of Bloom. It hit somebody. Bloom picks it up wisely. That could have been very dangerous. That might, I say just might have hit the Colorado player and been a free football. Regardless, Bloom jumped on it. We've got a timeout. You got it. The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship on ABC Sports, brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. BU, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. Chevy trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Budweiser, who salutes America's designated drivers. And Sprint, introducing PCS Vision, clearly a whole new way to look at wireless. Well, the back judge down on the field, Richard Jordan, has sent up word that the ball hit the Oklahoma player first, but Bloom was not taking any chances. And now it'll be Robert Hodge from the 34-yard line coming out against this OU defense.
Well, now Oklahoma's defense much matched the intensity of Colorado. This is where Mike Stoops and Brent Venables really earned their money. They got to turn this defense up and match the aggressiveness of Colorado.
The safeties are close to the line of scrimmage. They expected the run, and they've got it. Calhoun to the 42-yard line. OU searching out the run. Brandon Everidge pressing all the way from his safety spot, brings him down.
Let's talk a little bit about this offensive line for Colorado. In the last 25 games, they have just been machine-like. Last year they lost Gerard and Rogers to the NFL. But Bates, Haig, and Lucier have been there. All 25 games they've started and been in this offensive line. They just ground out yards.
Wilfolk backs off his wide man on second down and short, and Hodge is going to throw it. Comes Wilfolk's direction, incomplete. Third down. So Wilfolk expected the pass in his direction, and he got it that time. We check in with Jack.
Gary, you're talking about the need for Oklahoma's defense to ratchet it up and become more intense. Mike Stoops says one of the concerns when he tries to goad his players that way is that they will lose their focus and not be patient. He says, I don't want to do too much of it because they need the aggressiveness. But he does get concerned about being patient.
Drum and Vickers are the running backs against this OUD on third down. The front is clean. Drum, 45, 40. Brandon Drum breaks free. Fumble recovered by McCoy, I believe. No, check it. That was DJ Hackett. Number 88 saves the day as Drum rumbles free and then puffs it up.
This is the difference. Without Chris Brown at tailback, they put Drum back there. Scored a touchdown against Nebraska. Vickers leads the way. Drum smartly picking his way, knowing he can't go the distance, but from behind, the ball is punched loose by, is it Strait? Yes, Derek Strait. And then Colorado, last time it was Bloom, and this time Hackett. Two guys falling on the ball.
Drum moves in motion. Calhoun's behind him to the middle of the defense. Everidge comes up on him. So Brandon Drum, the Alaskan assassin.
Oh, he's so good at fullback. He's a complete package. He's a future NFL fullback. He's got it all. He's got that linebacker mentality. He goes after his assignment. And when he hits you, he's like a four-wheel drive. He just moves you. But you're able to block. That means you can react because the defensive guy is moving, and Brandon Drum, as big as he is, has got cat-like movement down low.
Joshua Foster, a senior offensive lineman, down for Colorado, being tended to.
He missed 2 games earlier this year with a bad ankle. Raul King plays about a quarter of the game. He has played and started 2 games. He's the backup.
Colorado facing a second down now with Robert Hodge, who is only 3 of 9. Colorado has thrown for only 33 yards in this game. They've rushed for 166. Facing second and long. Lucier, number 78, breaks the huddle. The enemy trying to keep the troops fired up. Brandon Drum is now the tailback in this set. Hodge is going to throw. Nobody open. Down he goes at the 15-yard line. Corey Klein again, 93, playing a heck of a game.
I tell you, Oklahoma can really play man coverage.
Monday night, it's the Bears and the Dolphins at 9 Eastern. Ricky Williams and the Dolphins will take on the Bears, who hope that Urlacher is healthy. Speaking of Ricky, he played in this game once back in St. Louis. Didn't do much. He was a fullback that day. And then last week, look at him against Buffalo. 228 yards and 2 touchdowns. You'll see him Monday night at 9 here on ABC. Passing situation for Hodge. Fires incomplete, and there was a bust on that play. There was no receiver cutting into that spot.
Oklahoma plays a zone this time. Robert Hodge is unsure whether it's man-to-man or zone. Watch these two guys just sit, sit, sit. He's trying to throw to the receiver, but throws it to the seam. Receiver goes inside. Miscommunication between the quarterback and the wideout.
Brome struggling tonight.
Number 17, Woolfolk's in the jump position behind the line of scrimmage.
Here's a very important 33-yarder. Going right again, no good. Wasted opportunities. Oklahoma still leads. Well, here's the backup place kicker, J.T. Everly, warming up. He's seen very little action. He's kicked off 4 times. He's made 1 extra point for Colorado. But he has been a decent practice kicker, and it could be possible with him warming up that they're going to make a change. At any rate, Oklahoma leading 13-7, but they've been unable to move against this Colorado D in the second half so far. Griffin stretches, searches, and rushes for about 9 yards. And at the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Oklahoma was in this situation already. Remember, 2nd and short before they ran and got stopped by Wilder. That forced them into a passing situation, punt, and all of a sudden Bloom brings it back. No more 2 tight ends in I formation, a change.
The loss of Donnelly has affected this offense. First down. Nienhuis making the stop on number 22, who is now rushed for 68 yards. In every Big 12 game that he's been in this year, he's busted the 100-yard barrier. He's sitting on 68 right now. And Hibble will use him. Well, the Hibble talked about Griffin's importance to this Oklahoma team today.
He blocks as well as anybody on the team, and obviously he's made some magnificent runs this year, and he's got some of the softest hands on the team. So I mean, he fuels this offense, and he's critical to our success.
Downfield, incomplete.
Oklahoma came out of the huddle quickly. They had a gimmick play, tried to get a touchdown out of it. Moore did a nice job of reading it and making it be a perfect pass from Nate Hibble. Oklahoma has changed their strategy here in the second half. They went with 2 tight ends without Donnelly. They don't believe in Moses as their backup tight end. More spread, more finesse, playing right into the hands of Colorado, which uses that 8-man front and really a nickel look on every play.
Okru knows how important this 3rd down is in terms of field position. Sooners need 6. First down marker is about the 41. Hibble fires for it right at that marker. They've got it. Went back to his tight end Smith, who really is more of a flex receiver. Very seldom have you seen 88 line up on the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Hayes said, well, we go to our jumbo backfield inside the 10, but most of the time you'll see him outside.
Well, they think that way you get a linebacker or a strong safety type against Smith. He's almost a wide receiver body. He's big. Last time they went third, and remember they didn't get it inches short. This time gets past the chains. It's an easy pitch and catch for Hibble to Trent Smith.
Under center, Savage in motion on that end around. It's a double reverse, and here they come. Mark Clayton looking for the corner. Down at midfield. Picking up about 8 yards. Strickland bringing him down.
Nice job by Nate Hibble that time. Got in the way, handed off, was patient, and then threw his body across the outside leg to get that a big play instead of a small play. Hibble is taking care of the ball in this football game. Still no turnovers in the game.
Jones, the power back, if you will, in that backfield for the Sooners if they want to go right straight ahead for the first down. Which they do. Close. And you can see that the black shirts jumped him pretty good coming through that time. Walrus, Missoni there.
Sony ran right around the corner that time. The deep I formation, he was playing the ISO, and he just ran around the corner like he was blocking a field goal and caught that play before it got started.
Still needing that yard. Still going with Runnels as the fullback and Jones as the tailback. Easy. To the 36-yard line before Moore brings him down. That's 12 yards.
Not underestimate how morale goes down when you miss multiple field goals. It's like turnovers. You miss those field goals, you're expecting points, and all of a sudden the team that was so fired up gets down on themselves. Look at this for blocking. Victor, nice job up front. Good blocking up front by the fullback. This Oklahoma line is not a finesse line any longer.
Carter the center. Griffin back on the field. Play fake and Hibble to throw. And he overthrew the intended receiver. That was Brandon Jones breaking deep. And tomorrow on a new alias, will a family that spies together die together? A new alias tomorrow on 9, 8 Central, right here on ABC. 3:43 in the third, 13-7 Oklahoma. Let's check in with Jack.
Well, Gary, you were talking about how well Nate Hibble takes care of the ball. In talking to the coaches, they say that's been his biggest improvement since he came off the bench and became a starter this year. He's got a better command of the game and takes good care of that ball.
Travis Wilson in as a receiver. The inside handoff is to Griffin. He's down to the 35-yard line. Harris there defensively for the Buffaloes.
As much as Colorado knows that Oklahoma's going to run the ball, they're still not sure. They put those receivers all over and they say, well, he's got to throw it pretty soon. But it has been that draw and counter all game. They have not tried to be too fancy. Protect the ball, run the ball out of the spread. 73 yards for Griffin in this game, rushing. Here is a 3rd and 9. 4 receivers, including Smith. He now doubles back, and Hibble's going to use Griffin. He'll go for it. Head for the end zone. Won't catch him. Touchdown, Oklahoma. A 36-yard burst for Quentin Griffin, which puts him over 100 yards again in this Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game. And it came on 3rd and 9. What a great play call by Chuck Long. Yes, I think, again, they got to pass. They got to pass now, 3rd and 9. You see Oklahoma's going to line up and go for 2. They'd be sitting on 20. They want to get it to 21-7, but they came with the run again. It's a different attitude. Bobby Stoops believes that they have to run the ball, and he sold it to this football team. Shotgun for Hibble on this 2-point attempt. Runnels, Clayton, Smith.
And Peoples. Peoples going to throw for it. High, no. So Colorado gives up 6. That was Ewu defensively over there. He's from the Houston area. He made that play.
Touchdown play. Everyone thinks it's a pass. Everyone in the ballpark thinks it's a pass. The little guy, you can hardly see him. You see what it's like to play defense against the guy. You lose him, and all of a sudden he's squirting out the other side and taking it to the house. Going to get a crossing in here. They're trying to cross with Smith across this way. The block. They don't get the pick pass. He has to throw it to his secondary receiver, and fortunately, this ball could have been picked up by Colorado. Kibble got away with one there. That could have been 2 the other direction. Totally different Oklahoma team than a year ago. They were a finesse team. They couldn't run the ball. Now they believe they can, and they keep doing it.
High kickoff. Fielded at the 2-yard line by Snead. Snead's got a big hole in a foot race. Oklahoma with the angle. He is out of bounds. So Snead gives Colorado still another opportunity. But can the offense do anything after that 69-yard return by 26?
Well, Snead had a fumble on a kickoff return in the game in Norman, Oklahoma. Look at the bunch of all the Oklahoma players stacked right there. They didn't stay in their lanes, and that allowed Snead to get outside and put it in the 29-yard line again for Colorado. I hate to say it, but they're already in field goal range.
Calhoun and Drum are the running backs. Calhoun tiptoes and then picks his way to about the 27-yard line. Klein there again defensively. But that is not a big gain on first down. Oklahoma will take it. This is going to be second down and long. And Hodge tonight is only 3 of 10 throwing for 33 yards.
Well, they're going to need him here. They're going to need him to throw the ball here on second down and make something happen with his arm.
Donahoe is off to the left as a wideout. Sipnewski, the tight end. Calhoun. And now it'll be third and long as Jackson, both Jacksons are in on that tackle. Well, back in '54, the Bear took 115 football players into the desert of West Texas. Only a handful walked out. The Junction Boys, next Saturday at 9 Eastern on ESPN. You know, it took Texas A&M 40-some years to get even, but they hired Dennis Franchione and made him walk all the way from Tuscaloosa. Third down. Remember the Bear, after he put the show on the road at A&M, went on down to Alabama and became the legend. Now Robert Hodge under pressure. Here comes the safety, Eric Bassi.
Same blitz they used last time. 3-man line. They came from the field. Wonderful call by Mike Stoops.
A 14-yard loss, and so instead of another crack at a field goal, the punter, Mark Mariscal, trots onto the field.
You could see it coming all the way. Zone blitz from the field. They bring the safety and play zone behind it. Colorado in no hurry here. Even if they got a 5-yard penalty, they could back up and punt the ball. Looks like they are going to take a delay.
Stoops was probably reminding the defense, the punt team, be very careful about a fake punt, because they haven't forgotten Gary Barnett a year ago when he allowed Texas basically to jump back in the game with a fake punt that backfired and wound up a Longhorn touchdown. This time, Mariscal. And OU will get out of the way, and this is going to be good defensive field position. Well, last year, Robert Hodge rolled out. Pass was intercepted by Babers. 54 yards for a touchdown. But Robert Hodge comes back tonight as the starting quarterback. And he's conferring with the shot upstairs in the coach's booth, trying to get something going with the passing game. It's been a struggle for Robert here tonight.
Robert had his opening start was against University of Southern California. He had one completion in that game. This defense is doing very similar things to him.
Jones is the running back. Jones, the carrier, a hole on the right side, and he pops to the 12-yard line. The third quarter comes to an end. Jeremy Bloom gave Colorado a huge lift, but the Sooners rally. Back for the fourth quarter after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching ABC Sports, the class of college football.
Well, we've got one quarter here to decide the last champion, I guess. Big 12 champion here. They'll move on to a bowl game. Who knows? They might wind up in Pasadena, Gary, and take on Washington State.
Well, if Oklahoma wins this football game, they're going to think back to those two games they were upset on. I mean, they gave up big plays, games they should have won. They're a better football team than the two games they lost. You see the power they have on this team. A lot of speed, a lot of weapons. They'll look back to those two games and say it could have been. If they were undefeated and Ohio State was undefeated, who would have gone?
Jones straight ahead as we take a look at our Dr. Pepper third quarter stats. And Gary, you have highlighted third down conversions, and for a very good reason.
Yeah, you're right. You got it when you're going against a fast defense like this. You got to keep it third and medium. You know, Oklahoma believed that Robert Hodge couldn't beat them. So far, they're right.
I want to go back to what you just brought up because I think it's interesting. When the season started, you and I both thought Oklahoma was probably the cream of the crop. Then suddenly Miami emerged. I think that Oklahoma is one of the few teams in the country that on their best day, can stick with the Canes and that speed because of this defensive unit that Stoops has. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, no, all the mailmen, all the emails
unbelievable.
are going to come out of Columbus right to Mr. Musburger.
They've been coming all year anyway. What difference does it make?
I think Ohio State has a similar defense to these guys. They have veterans, and they're a smart defense. I don't know if they can score enough points. Oklahoma has a little better ability to score points. I think that'll be the difference for Ohio State. Can they score?
Oh, Jones is stuffed at the point of attack by Drew Walrus, senior. And Oklahoma and Colorado, Quentin Griffin then the ringleader. 109 yards rushing here tonight for number 22. He also has caught 4 passes for 28 more yards. He has been the Sooners MVP on offense as he bolted for that touchdown in the third quarter. 19-7. Now they had an extra point block. They missed a 2-point conversion. That's why it is 19-7. Play fake, Hibble. It's a beauty. Fire high, complete. First down, and the ball is on the ground. But I believe the officials waving it off. There's the linesman right there.
Yeah, you would expect the tight end, Moses, to catch that ball right to him. Can't draw it up any better. Remember, he's only in the game because of the injury, and he came and coughed it up because it looked like he put it right on the face mask. Kibble throws it right on the face mask, juggles it, and it's loose all the way. And nice job by Snead coming across. Donnelly not in the game, allowed Moses to make that play.
Third down. Ronaldo works. A good receiver. Checks into the game. He is standing to Hibble's left. Griffin to the right in the backfield. Hibble in trouble. And on a bailout pass, it is caught by Curtis Fagan. A terrific completion for 14 yards and an OU first down.
Fagan was one of those receivers that were here with Josh Heupel when this was strictly a pass offense. This is one of the best plays Hippel's made all year, rolling out one way, throwing off balance, and Fagan comes back and gets his hands underneath it. And even though this is an NFL stadium, there's no instant replay on that one. It's called complete.
Griffin again, spins away. Hibble to throw a block, gets knocked over backwards, and 3 Colorado players jumped the running back. Hibble tried to throw a block to spring Griffin, and he probably wishes he hadn't tried that. He's smiling about it, and I've always had truck that got a hold of me down there.
Transfer from Georgia, ex-golfer, kind of hit one off the tree right back in his face that time.
Exactly. Jones into the backfield along with Runnels now. They line up here. Jones straight ahead, daylight, midfield. The Oklahoma Sooners have now rushed for 190 yards in this game.
Watch Mike Skinner, the senior right here, come out and get the kick out. This is Colorado football being run. Number 75 comes across, bam! That is Power O football. Colorado runs it every day in practice. Now, Oklahoma is giving them a little bit of the same. The senior, give a little credit to Kevin Wilson on this. You mentioned him a couple times. He brought a new attitude to that offensive line.
Jones coming in motion. Back now to the running back, Jones. Battling his way to the 44-yard line. Well, again, a reminder now, join Alan John of Miami. Ricky Williams leads the Dolphins against the Chicago Bears Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC. The Dolphins are in a drive, and they're in a tough division. The Bears, of course, have slipped badly behind Green Bay in theirs. Second down now. And Jones getting the bulk of the load is short of the 40-yard line where the first down marker is.
That's about the 7th or 8th time Oklahoma has hustled to the line of scrimmage, snapped it on the quick count. Nate Hibble told us early it was going to be part of the strategy of the game. They really haven't gotten anything big out of it, but they forced Colorado to determine what defense they're in quickly and got easier reads for Nate Hibble throughout the game. They've had to declare because they don't know if they're going to get a quick snap or a long read.
The toss. Jones busts across the 40 for a Sooner first down. Let me take you back here, and I want you to see Nate Hibble. Now, he spots the running back coming around now. Now, watch here, folks, because here's a tough, big old hombre, and he's going to cut back, and Hibble says, I'll help you, I'll help you. Now, watch the quarterback here. Okay, I got this guy. Uh-oh.
Who'd he grab? Who'd he catch? A linebacker? You don't know. That was strong safety.
Laughing about it. Yeah.
You got Kurt Masoni that time. Masoni said, thank you.
Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, I asked Nate Hibble about situations like that, and he said, look, it's my last year, and it's kind of fallen upon me that I know I'm going to run out of time. He said, if I get a chance to make a hit like that, I don't care if the coaches get mad at me.
Jack, he has cut his hand, and it was bleeding badly as Quentin Griffin powers to the 25-yard line. In a basketball game, they would have Nate Hibble leave the field right now. There was blood on the right hand when I looked down on the field. Here it is. So he has cut that hand and continuing to play with the ball at the 25.
He will relish that picture the rest of his life. He'll say, that was when I blocked that linebacker. Well, wait a minute. When that linebacker blocked me, and I got on national television with that blood dripping all over. Boy, another draw play to Quentin Griffin. That has just been fits for Colorado. Another one.
Powering in, Carter trying to lead the way, and Fluellen was there. That's another Houston, Texas youngster there. There are several, and it is Eric Bieniemy who recruits the Houston area. for Colorado. And there are so many outstanding football and basketball players in this Houston area. And Eric comes down here, and he's been able to attract 4 or 5 players up to Colorado. Colorado back on their heels a little bit right now. Oklahoma taking it to them with this offensive line.
Yes, yes. I mean, you look at it, you know, we talk so much about that Colorado offensive line, but boy, I'm totally impressed. The change, we did them early, right, Brent? We did them against Alabama. Throughout this year, you've seen the growth and the toughness of this offensive line.
Well, we did them also in November at home against.
Yeah, we saw them early
Colorado.
when they were still getting used to it. They wanted to be physical, but they weren't there. They have changed throughout the whole season.
Yeah, Kevin Wilson, you mentioned it, came down from Northwestern, brought a brand new attitude here, new blocking scheme, and Kevin down there, his offensive line, doing a heck of a job for him here tonight. Here's Jones straight ahead. You have to believe that the young center Carter is really leading the way for both Jones and Griffin. And so if Oklahoma goes on to win this game, where will they go? We'll know at 3:30. There is a very good possibility that they could wind up in Pasadena playing Washington State. They were so excited about that possibility before the game. They thought for sure Iowa was going, but there's been talk that the Hawkeyes, serious talk, that the Hawkeyes could wind up down in Miami at the Orange Bowl and attract a whole lot of fans down to South Florida. Here comes Jones, cut back to the 5-yard line, and Tufts brings him down.
Kejuan Jones has been their running back in red territory. He's got 14 touchdowns this year. That's a school record for freshmen, and it doesn't look good that third and 3 or 4. Colorado absolutely needs to stop right here.
Well, it's the drive of the game. Remember, it started back on the 5-yard line. They've driven 90 yards already in this game, and the offensive line leading the way.
And that key pass, remember that rollout pass by Kibble over to the sideline? That was a huge play.
Timeout. Oklahoma uses a timeout. Hibble, all blood, sweat, and tears and success, goes over to the sideline. Timeout. Oklahoma leading 19-7 has driven 90 yards, and they have a 3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line. They sprint out from the sideline. Jones continues to be the running back. They line up in the I formation. Runnels is the fullback. It's Jones tackled in the backfield for a loss as Fluellen, the Houston youngster, with 2 big plays.
Inside this time, the runoff tackle. Fluellen beats the block, gets inside. Oklahoma trying to run the ball, but also knowing a field goal is huge right now. With the score 19-7, they're not going to take any chance. They want 3 points and get it to 22-7.
So Trey DiCarlo trots onto the field. Had an extra point blocked here earlier tonight, but the young man who blocked it injured his shoulder and left the game and is not out there right now. Phil Jackson was injured and not playing. Here's your 23-yarder for DiCarlo.
Delay a game. What are they doing?
They're going to back it up, are they, from that hash mark? What's going on here?
Could have used the timeout.
The ball is brought back to the 11-yard line, and you wonder, did Stoops and friends have a fake?
He's been known to fake a lot. They're going on balance. They're putting more people to the wide side than the short side. They only got 2 people to the short side of the field, and they've overbalanced to the wide side. Maybe they just wanted to get it back for a little angle.
A 28-yarder for DiCarlo from that right hash. He slips it through. 22-7 on the DiCarlo field goal. Oklahoma leads. The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship on ABC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. BU, nothing's better, Dr. Pepper. Jeep, the most respected, honored, and heroic 4x4 out there, only in a Jeep 4x4. And Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, and investments rely on the strength of Pacific Life. The skyline view of downtown Houston, home of this beautiful new stadium, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. A high pooch kick. Standing not far from that tackle is Oklahoma's fine athletic director, Joe Castiglione. Now he has to do two things. If it's after this game, he's got to get on the phone, see if maybe he needs to call Pasadena, or should he call New Orleans, or he's got to get some deals. He's got to get things out. The other thing he's got to do is if he sees Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys sneaking up on Bob Stoops, he's got to tackle him right now.
Could happen, huh? He's got to be a hot product.
Oh, man, is he?
Foul on defense. Unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, time permitting here tonight, we'll go back to the studio in New York. John and Terry, post-game report. They're going to have a busy 24 hours because at 3:30 tomorrow on that Tostitos BCS Championship show, they'll tell us all the matchups. They'll let you know where Oklahoma will be headed if they hold up here tonight. They seem well on their way, don't they, with this defensive performance by the Sooners.
Yeah, Oklahoma's the only team in the Big 12 to hold Colorado below 28 points this year. They did it in the first game, and they haven't given up a touchdown in this game. Remember, it was a punt return.
Dominating the Buffalo offense, Calhoun tackled at the 40 by Jimmy Wilkerson, the junior out of Omaha, Texas.
That was the all Big 12 defensive end acting that time. Jumped around the block, got in on the play. Wilkerson goes 260 pounds, and he just went around the block and made a tackle all in one move.
I guess the only question I have tonight about OU is where was this defense last week in Stillwater? 22-7. Oklahoma State might be better than we think they are, folks. That might be a pretty darn good football team. Hodge on a tough roll now. Throws low on a one-hopper. And it'll be third down and long coming up. And the Buffaloes trying to give themselves a chance. Gary checking that clock, 7 minutes. He knows how important it is. He's probably thinking about sending in the punt block team next time he gets a chance.
Eric Bassey did a wonderful job that time. They tried to throw the ball to Brandon Drum coming out of the backfield in the flat. An easy throw for Hodge on second down. Bassey ate it up and forced Hodge to go downfield, and he just didn't have the arm.
Hodge has not completed a pass this half.
No. And they can't get the ball to Brandon Drum unless they hand it off to him. They have not been able to throw the ball to him.
So the absence of a passing game, especially when you're playing catch-up.
Here it comes again, same defense.
In trouble. Fumble! And Bobby Purify pounced back on the loose football, but it was knocked out by number 10, Lance Mitchell, the JC transfer, who's been outstanding at linebacker for these Sooners.
Third time on 3rd and long. Oklahoma has come with the zone blitz to the field. They bring 4 guys to the strong side. You see Bassey, number 13. There's Mitchell right there, popping it free. They know they've got Robert Hodge in this Colorado defense. The run game's not there for Colorado, and they've got him.
And fielding that on the run is Perkins to the 39-yard line. Oklahoma, 6:22 away from a Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship. Timeout. Fine performance by the Oklahoma offensive line, Gary.
Sure was. We talked about it in the open. Colorado knew if Oklahoma was able to run the ball with those type of numbers, they would never force them to their offhand, which they believe they needed Nate Hibble to try to beat them throwing the ball. Nate's been able to manage the game because of that rushing game.
Griffin cuts back to the 47. All right, it is the final Saturday. And everything is final. Washington State to the Rose Bowl. Miami to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Georgia to the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Big win for Navy in that annual class. You know, Gary, I gotta ask a question of all my good friends at Sports Illustrated.
They ran an article on a Heisman Trophy winner. They're going to vote for Carson Palmer, and that's great. And they ran 5 pictures of Heisman candidates, and now one of them is Ken Dorsey. Now, I don't understand how some quarterback who's 38-1 can't even get a mention. I mean, what's a guy got to do? You got to get his picture in your magazine, guys. He could be going, remember this, he could be going for his 3rd consecutive championship. He got kept out of the game a few years ago by Florida State. That's what he did there today. McGahee, now he did get his picture in the magazine. You know, it certainly wasn't an anti-Miami deal, but 38-1. I make him a candidate. I don't know that he's going to win it. I don't know that he should get everybody's vote. I got to make him a real legitimate candidate for a whole lot of folks.
I tell you, I would rather have the two national championships. I'll live with my running back having the Heisman Trophy.
Seems fair. 1st down and 10. A cutback by Griffin. Quentin Griffin to the 32-yard line. He's now carried 27 times for 156 yards.
What a beautifully designed play. Watch him step this way to hold the linebackers, but they pull from the opposite way. This is the design. He steps one way, waits for the pulling tackle, and feels back the other way. That's how you run the ball out of the spread. You run the counter OT by attracting the linebackers with a step and then following that running back, that offensive tackle or guard the other way. Beautifully designed play.
Ball on the 32-yard line. Quentin Griffin, certainly our MVP here tonight. And Jones is not a bad back either. Check in, Gary, your Chrysler passing playbook.
Well, there wasn't a lot of them, but it's the little things that matter. Now watch this. Nate Hibble keeps his eyes down the middle of the field. That holds the free safety. Coach once told me there's no such thing as little things. When you do something right, you can get 7 points. Hibble there kept his eyes downfield, held the safety, and that's why he got 7 out.
2nd down for Hibble.
You know, the star you said is Quentin, but don't you have a difference makers? I'd give it to that Oklahoma offensive line.
Oh, he's not the truth. The difference makers, no question about it. Vince Carter, number 50, returns as the starting center. He's been a big difference maker. Look at that block he just threw. And Griffin going for another one. Touchdown, Oklahoma. The Sooners are headed for the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship on that 27-yard burst by Quentin Griffin, who earlier this year put away the Texas Longhorns in that annual Donnybrook in Dallas, and now he's doing the same to the Colorado Buffaloes.
And Nate Hibble got the final block to spring him on the play again.
The touchdown is good. There was a personal foul on the defense after the play was over. By rule, that has to be enforced on the try, half the distance.
Play's going to start this way and go out the other way. Watch Nate Hibble right here all the way. Hands it off, draw play. Hibble comes right up here and watch him. Watch him get the last block. Boom. Knock him down and sprint to the end zone. Wonderful job by the quarterback. But Quentin earned a lot of money tonight. He can play in the NFL, no doubt about it.
183 yards, Gary, rushing the ball. The extra point is added by DeCarlo. We go back to what we said at the beginning of the night. In our opinion, he is the most underrated running back in college football today. He's a gamer, hangs on to the football. He's approaching 500 touches without a fumble. Remarkable. Folks, let's change the Aflac trivia question. How about none of the above? The rushing record for the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship now belongs to number 22, Quentin Griffin.
Over 100 yards in every Big 12 game. Only 2 other Oklahoma backs have ever done it. Steve Owens and Billy Sims.
Pretty good company. Ball bobbled out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Let me thank some folks that have meant so much to us, certainly throughout the years. The executive producer of ABC Sports, Howard Katz. Howard is with us tonight. Nice to have him here. The senior producer of ABC Sports back in New York, Bob Toms. The coordinating producer of ABC's college football, Bob Goodrich, who also produced tonight's game. Directed by Larry Cam. Associate producer, Drew Kaliski. Associate director, Brian Fay. TD, Monty Poland. Our production manager, Christy Bravey, who's taken really good care of us this year, folks. And our technical manager, Mark Towie. And all the men and women on this crew who work so hard each week. You can't believe the cables, the cameras, and everything they have to set up. They break down at the end of the day. They move on to the next circus, and they just do a wonderful, wonderful job, and they don't get a whole lot of credit. And I think this crew, Gary, has been one of the best we've ever worked with. They have just been wonderful this year.
They treat us like gold, and we appreciate them like
Yeah, we
gold.
do. We certainly do that. Derek McCoy, by the way, was the receiver on the play. Now, if I remember my Big 12 history, and check me on this, Gary, no one has ever repeated as champion. Oklahoma's
That
won a
keeps it
couple, but
alive.
last year
Yep.
it was Colorado, right? So no one's been able to do it.
Keeps it going, too, doesn't it?
Sure does. Tough, tough, good conference. Both football and basketball. Robert Hodge in a sprint. And he'll take it out of bounds. Well, Gary, I want to go back to your difference makers because I really think you were all over this bunch tonight. That's the offensive line for OU.
Absolute different job. I mean, they were challenged. Bob Stoops challenged his offense to become more physical this year. These guys took some tough coaching through spring, through fall camp. Kevin Wilson got on their butt. Chuck Long called a wonderful game tonight. But those guys answered the challenge, and they're the Big 12 champions.
Well, I got to talk about you because you know what you have said to me repeatedly, Brent. They've got to change that offense down at Oklahoma. They got to run the football, and that's exactly what they've done. I must say, I got to give you high marks. You were right on this. This is a different football team here tonight that we're watching, and I want to say something else. I know that I don't know what's going to happen to the bowl thing. I really don't. I know there's a feeling in Pasadena from some great people that they want to keep together the Big Ten, Pac-10, and I don't disagree with that. That's been the greatest of them all, the granddaddy. But if you do wind up with Oklahoma, I'm going to tell you, you can be proud of this football team, and that'd give you a heck of a game. These guys are flat out good. And if they wind up, now, like I say, I could be talking out. I don't know who's going to be matched up, but if they draw Washington State, it'd be a heck of a football game.
Ren, I think there's there's one great team and 5 other really, really good teams. Oklahoma is one of those really, really good teams.
And here comes Perkins. He's really, really good again. Just banged into the punter down there at about the 30-yard line. Mariscal went flying. And, you know, if we go back to November 2nd,
yes,
after that game, Oklahoma was a little offended that Colorado said it was the turnovers and the bad weather that cost them the game. And Bob Stoops said afterward, you know, there's no mulligans in this game. You got to show up and play. We don't put it down again on the tee.
Yeah, but
well, they've called this the mulligan game, and I think Oklahoma had something to prove here today.
I know, but let's call it a mulligan game. But you're saying it right there. But kids can say that after games. You want to play a team again. Colorado did their job. They went 3-0 or whatever to get here. But they thought they'd come here with their driver. They came here without their driver, Chris Brown. They didn't know they'd have to play these guys without their driver in the back. Hitting a 3-wood against these guys ain't going to get it. He's going to go over 200. They want 200 for him, don't they?
Yes, they do. He went over 200, didn't he, Gary, against Texas that day down in Dallas, about 248 or something like that day?
They want him to go for 200 in this football game against Colorado.
This was Quentin Griffin in Big D. And there's the fumble, and he alertly picked it up and stepped into the end zone. And with a huge hole as OU beat Texas in that game. And Jones now leaves the sideline. He's the running back. And Jones is stopped.
Nice pride by Colorado. Finished the game. That's exactly what they're doing. Tufts did it that time. You don't want to, ask no quarter, give no quarter. And that's what that defense is out there right now. They don't want Oklahoma to take a knee, and they want to finish the game with pride. Game could be completely different if they make those field goals. Give them Chris Brown and make the field goals, and this game could have gone either way.
I guess next year, as we look ahead to the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game, it'll be up there in Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. That would be the second time, I believe, that they've. I think Oklahoma won up there before they went down and captured the national championship. They beat Kansas State in
a little cold
rematch
for Bob and Brad up there in that game.
And Kibble has stopped the 30-yard line. So the Chevrolet players of the game, and Quentin Griffin with 188 yards, 29 carries, 28 more yards, catching passes, and Jeremy Bloom, who represents the Colorado 7 that's up on the board. He took that punt back 80 yards
both
for
teams,
a touchdown.
Excuse me, Brent. Both teams knew the game plan. They had to stop the other team's running game. Oklahoma was able to do it. Colorado wasn't. Simple as the game.
Fourth down here, the final 37 seconds. Jones is stopped. Thanks to in the booth now to our spotter, the Mauve man, Brian Movelson, and our stats man, George Hill, who rose to new heights wearing the Wolverine jersey tonight. Nice job for both of them. There's Brent Venables down there, the Stoops brothers. There's Mike. He'll be a head coach someplace. Big comeback. They're going to capture the Big 12 championship, and then they will await their destination for the bowl game.
Great day for Nate Hibble, too. You know, a lot of questions about him. Even I said, Nate, is he good enough to win a championship? He's proved to us all that he is good enough. We've seen him at his struggling worst, 4 interceptions, and we've seen him at his best tonight.
Yes, he played very, very well here tonight, as did this entire Sooner team. I can't say enough about this defense. As the final seconds begin to tick down.
You know how good this Oklahoma defense was tonight. You hardly even mention Teddy Lehman the whole game. That's how dominating it was up front for Oklahoma. Bobby got a win, huh? Close the roof.
McCoy. Fumble. Colorado's got it at the 45-yard line. John Donahoe, the junior wide receiver, pounced on the loose football there.
Captain. Never really understood this, why you got to throw 4 more passes at the end of the game like this. Game is over. You could get somebody hurt. Maybe it was a freshman quarterback or somebody coming back, but Robert Hodge isn't even coming back.
Well, I see that after missing him the first time, now watch Coach Stoops.
Whoa,
and,
I'd say they got him.
I'd say they'll come back. Good rally down there.
I think two coaches that are gamers. Gary Barnett knew coming into this game, without his 2 top backs, it is very difficult to beat. You know, you got a backup quarterback. You got your 2 top tailbacks out of the football game, and you're playing one of the best defenses in the country. Not likely to win the game.
Well, we thank Colorado SID Dave Platty for weighing us down with more statistics than we ever see in our tour of college football. He's looking for Hodge. Deflected at the end zone, and Kenny Mossman and Danielle Felter, who always give us so much help down at Oklahoma. It's an easy job, folks, when you've got the great help that Bob Goodrich and his crew give us here, and then the SIDs at the various schools, man. And who's picking up the dinner check tonight? You or me?
I'll be there. I'll be there. My arm's a little short, but I'll be there. You'll see there's an old veteran coach, Bob Stoops, back up.
Yeah. Tough night for the kicker, wasn't it? So here's Robert Hodge. And that'll do it. Oklahoma wins the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship. And now they will await their destination. The Bowl Championship Series will be announced at 3:30 tomorrow on ABC. Let's go to Jackaroo, Jack.
Getting the congratulations, Gary Barnett, coach. Congratulations, Big 12 champions, and that's what you said you wanted at the beginning of the year.
That's not easy. We got a heck of a league. We got tremendous guys. I tell you what, I'm proud of our team.
How about this guy?
Year, championship year, and Quentin Griffin. And can you say enough about him? He's the best. This guy's beautiful.
You may be quiet, but boy, you speak when you carry the ball, my friend.
We got some good guys up front paving the way for us. All our running backs can run the ball really well, and it's just exciting to come back home and play and win the Big 12 championship.
All right, now, guys, the big question. Of the BCS Bowls, you can't go to the Fiesta. Which one, if you could pick, would you go?
They're all great. You're kidding me? We're Big 12 champs. We'll go wherever they want us to. We'll have a great time and try and win another game.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Jack.
All right, Jack, congratulations. to Stoops, Griffin, and the Oklahoma Sooners and all their great fans. 29-7. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. Don't miss now the Tostitos BCS Selection Show tomorrow. Live from our Times Square Stadium. 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC. For Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. So long, everybody.
And it was, you know, it was very obvious today.
I don't think we try to make any adjustments.
No, Brian, he was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He plays defense, you play offense. If you notice, I got 3 freshmen up here. They're not sure which side of the ball they're on yet.
Well, our main thing we tried to do was just tackle them. We pretty much had the same game plan we did in the first game, but our main thing Coach pointed out to is everybody floated the ball, and we got to game tackle them, and that's pretty much it.
Got a question about halfway back in the middle.
Coach, how much does it affect you, or do you feel like it was affecting your team? Not only the first missed field goal, the second, and about a third, you feel the momentum.
I assume everybody heard that. I don't have to repeat it, but the effects of the field goals being missed. Well, I think one of the things you try to do as a coach is you try to avoid that as much as possible. But it's just almost a natural thing to have it affect the mood of your team. But like I told our offense at halftime, the reason that we had to attempt field goals was because we sputtered down there, and they needed to understand. And I think they understood. I think the third one is the one that demoralized us as much as anything. I think we lived through the first 2 okay, but it can affect you. But you know, teams have to fight through that stuff. You really do. You know that. You've been there.
So Colorado misses out on a chance to defend their Big 12 championship. The Canes looking to defend their national championship, and they will get their shot. More of that coming up on ESPN News. 13 zip, Jeremy Bloom, the Olympic skier.
Daylight, 40.
Taking this one back, running downhill, 80 yards for the touchdown. Colorado cut the lead to 13-7. But later in the third, same score, Quentin Griffin. Draw play. And he catches the Buffs off guard. Sooners block it well. And Griffin's taking it in for 36 yards and a touchdown. Sooners up 19-7, and they go on to win it 29-7. Griffin, 29 carries, 188 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. So Oklahoma's won 2 straight over Colorado, and they deny the Buffs a chance to defend their Big 12 championship title. And we're going to take out to Bob Stoops in Houston to hear his post-game comments in just a few minutes.
I thought they were a strong team the entire year, and feel very good about our team to come in tonight and play as we did and to win a hard-fought game, and just feel fortunate to be able to be around and work with these guys and again with our staff. Just what a great night. Just the guys, I guess, to point out that were just incredibly special. Quentin Griffin, geez, just amazing. Makes play after play, is out there, and you know, even when there isn't much there, he's going to find something. Other guys, you know, our offensive line, our backs, our tight ends, and the blocking, to run the ball like we did against a physical team, was really fun to watch. You know, all those tight ends and J.D. Runnels and our offensive line creating seams was a big factor in the game. And defense, to shut them out defensively, and I guess we held them to under 200 yards. Again, another incredible defensive performance. So just all together, it was a well-played game.
Okay, we'll take questions starting right here.
Sure, you know, defense got put in the hole a few times, took the field in red zone territory after whether it be a return or, you know, and just to go out there with that kind of focus and you know, and character in a tough situation to stop them And then he actually backed them up, I guess, on the one, and then they punted to the goal line, and we go all the way down to the 3-yard line with it in an incredible drive. Players executing well, and again, I think it says a little bit about our character.
On the far left.
Incredible day. Nate is the general out there. I saw an interview with Mike Price this morning or today before the game. He was talking about how everything goes through the quarterback, calling the play, how he presents the play in the huddle, taking the line of scrimmage, being a leader in the huddle. He commands the huddle the entire day, and getting us into good runs out of certain runs, and again, throwing the football. We threw the ball. We pick up on that long drive at a great 3rd down when he's being blitzed. He avoids the pressure and gets a big 3rd and long to Curtis Fagan, who's maybe one of the biggest plays of the game, throwing from our own end zone.
On the right-hand side.
Well, it's always good if you start off strong and you start off moving the football, and that always gives you a boost. And we did. We came out, and I thought we're running and throwing well, and so sure, it makes a difference to come out like that.
Over on the left.
Well, that was last week. Maybe things will change this week. I don't know. If it doesn't, it doesn't much matter. We're the Big 12 champs, and you earn your way through the entire season. And I thought we played a pretty good game tonight to show that what we're about. And I guess in one of those teams we had already beaten this year. So whatever happens. That doesn't much matter.
About 3/4 of the way back on the right-hand side.
Listen, being Big 12 champs, we'll go wherever they want to take us, right, guys? And in fact, you guys hadn't been to the Rose Bowl before, had you?
No, I know.
So anyway, hey, if that's the case, great. We'll go wherever they want to take us. All those bowls are excellent and great, and it'll be a great environment wherever it is, and we'll embrace it and go after it, and hopefully our fans. And I want to compliment our fans out there tonight. Just great following us, and I'm sure they'll be excited about that opportunity because it doesn't come around very often.
Right-hand side, camera level.
Coach, on that near the end of the game, Antonio Perkins' last punt return, he just literally ran over the guy. Talk about that play and that testimony you guys were playing the whole game, the whole course.
I loved it. He had made an excellent run because we had our punt safe unit out there. We didn't even have our return unit out there, and he just with his speed and Andre and Derek getting them started by getting after their cover guys. Sure, he saw where he was boxed in at the end, and he just put his head down and really leveled them. So that was it's positive just to see us finish that way.
Right-hand side, Mike.
Yeah, those guys, they played really well. They had a good week of practice this past week, and we've been executing a lot in the run game and pass protection. So those guys, I can't say enough about those guys. They've been playing really well the whole year.
Front row, right-hand side.
What about coming into your hometown? Are you nervous? Are you scared? Are you worried?
Well, I wasn't worried. Actually, I was excited, playing in a championship game right down the street from where I stay, and you can't ask for any much more than that. But it's very exciting.
What was it like hearing the cues in your hometown?
It's pretty cool. Try to drown and not stay focused on the game, but that don't happen to a lot of people, so it's pretty nice.
Left side, second row.
Coach, talk about the way the offensive line were Colorado out. They had their hands on their knees.
Well, when you get those long drives going, that usually happens, and they were very physical up front. And again, Colorado is as well. I'm not sitting here saying they're not. They play that way, their offensive line and defensive line, and And our offensive line just was really strong again, and throw our tight ends and backs in there that were blocking and creating seams. And really proud of our defensive line, how they stood in there and against a very physical offensive line, and you know, and competed well.
Game for Colorado against Oklahoma. The Buffs.
What tees did he hit from?
Well, he was just hoping to hit it past the ladies' tee after they lost to the Sooners, if you know what I mean, the first time. 7-0. Sooners on top of the Buffs. Nate Hibble looking for Mark Clayton, finding him. Oh, you missed a point after. 13-0 at the half. You punt it to Jeremy Bloom at your own risk. Bloom, ski those moguls. Go for the gold. NCAA, let the man keep the endorsement money.
Agreed.
Oklahoma's lead is trimmed to 13-7, but Quentin Griffin once again with a nice day. 188 yards on the ground. That was a Big 12 championship game record. Went 36 there, and here comes the Q-Dog one more time, Mark.
Love the moves. Going up the middle, takes to the outside, little delayed draw. Now it's just, if you can catch me, but you can, it's another touchdown. 27 yards on a touchdown.
Mulligan, same result. Oklahoma wins it 29-7. Griffin over 100 yards in all 9 games against Big 12 competition this year, and Oklahoma bounces back nicely from that loss to Oklahoma State to end the regular season, or at least the regular season before then. And the Oklahoma defense really, Mark, much more along the lines of what we're accustomed to seeing from the Sooners.
Oh, absolutely. After, I guess you can call it the debacle against Oklahoma State in their last game, they didn't play well, and Bob Stoops even said we were even out coaching that game. But the way they played today, they were able to stop the run. They were able to put pressure on Robert Hodge, the quarterback of Colorado, and he didn't have a chance to throw the ball. They only threw for 67 yards. Here he's dropped back. Eric Bassey on the sack, the 4th sack of the day. 4 times they got him in this game. Now Hodge is going to look for Derek McCoy. It's broken up down the field by Andre Wolfhook right here.
You said they were going to pass all over.
They were going to try to pass. The play action didn't work. They did run the ball fairly successfully, but they could not throw the ball against Oklahoma
You questioned Mike Stoops 2 times this year. He proved you wrong twice.
What about the SEC?